Hey yo,
Crypto
it's
market analysis Wednesday,
Wednesday.
26th February. Last Wednesday of the month.
Oh, I think you're right. Shit, that means rent's due soon.
What
Oh,
a
it's a short month.
short month.
28 days. It ends in 2 days.
But
Damn.
yeah, things aren't looking so hot in the market right now.
No, it's been brutal. The days. Here's ETH. It's like a Bitcoin too. Ooh, this week definitely. Seeing Bitcoin kind of lose its old range here. Ah, you little bitch. It's weird that it keeps popping up and telling me to like upgrade. And it's like, I said no. I have it on a different account. Which I guess I could just share that screen so that it just stops doing it. Either way, yeah, market took a beating this week. That's Bitcoin, but if we look at ETH also. Last week we also got like a decent last week we had kind of like a huge dump, but it recovered like to halfway, and then this week it looks like we're kind of retesting that same floor again. See that wick for ETH? I don't think Bitcoin had the same. No, Bitcoin had a like volatile day or day, but ETH didn't really recover that way. It kind of like, you know, and alts in general, I think, have been getting hammered. It's definitely savage out there in the markets. I do think it's definitely not like the very bottom yet. I don't know how to let's take a look at where we want to find support here, because obviously I think we're going to be testing the same kind of support that we found previously here with this long wick. So I'd say we're definitely trying to test like 2150, and we're at 2327 right now, so definitely have room still, which is rough considering we just moved 16% down. And if we do make it to that support again, that's a 23% pullback, which is savage. But not outside of what's normal. Let's actually look at the weekly. Like we've been trying to keep our eyes on the wider range, and you can see that, like especially with Bitcoin, this is like a pullback to where weekly support is. Although it has kind of crashed through that a little bit in an aggressive way, that makes it a little bit more nerve-wracking, especially considering like if you look at the bottom here, the floor of where these wicks had always touched, that's kind of where we were looking for a bounce. And if you go back to the daily chart with Bitcoin, you can kind of see how that support line would be kind of like right here. And so you can see in the last 3 days we kind of got there and didn't, like it looks like we fell through,
Blew
and
right
then
through
before
that
the end of the
support.
day,
Not much
yeah,
support there.
like this one bounced. The wick here means we dropped during the day, and then at the end of the day when the candle closed, it had recovered to here, opened here, and now we're continuing this dump. Not great. The support definitely not really holding super well, obviously. And so now what we're going to be looking for is, the next level of support, which you'd find, at the peak here, which could be 75K for Bitcoin, which is, rough still when you're at 84. Especially with a lot of retail people who are new to these markets, haven't gotten into Bitcoin since, before prices this low. So this could be like the opportunity for a lot of newcomers to buy for the cheapest that they've had a chance to buy ever.
It's usually
But
not how that works, though.
no. Yeah, but
New people
generally
get
speaking,
afraid when
most
the market's
newcomers,
red and they jump in when it's on the top.
yeah, exactly. They're going to also, yeah, like a lot of people like panic and leave, but again, you shouldn't be entering super high volatility and speculative assets like crypto in general with money that you need, next month or something. So if you're able to stomach these drops, it's not a bad buying opportunity if you have buying, capacity to continue, like stay in cash basically. Don't go all in right now. Wait for it to basically signal the reverse, and what we're looking for in that signal is what we're always looking for, which is a higher low followed by a higher high followed by a higher low. So right now we're really not getting any of that, especially looking at the daily chart. We've been kind of ranging flat here, and now we're starting to make lower lows, right? So what we're looking for is this lower low when it does find its support. Hopefully, maybe around here, even 3 days of continued sell-off is definitely a lot of pressure that needs to be released and counteracted the other way, especially when you see how oversold the weekly is. Also today at 5 o'clock Eastern time, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock Eastern time, I think, like 3 o'clock our time, the Nvidia Corporation has its earnings report, which generally will affect the stock market's sentiment, or the market sentiment in general will spill into this kind of stuff. And Nvidia being a huge cornerstone of the Nasdaq market, that's a pretty big event that people are waiting to see tonight. So we got like 2 hours to go on that. So we'll have to see, but I do think that like even once you get kind of to that news, maybe we can get bad news and everything continues to just kind of like free fall. But realistically, this would be the moment where you would find like the sell the rumor or like buy the rumor, sell the news kind of thing, where you'd get the move happening before the news actually hits, and then when the news hits, you kind of either stabilize, maybe bounce back a little bit and retest before maybe then continuing down if that's the eventual thing. Hold on, I think Paul's eyeing me because he's. Well, 1 second. I think Paul has to leave.
Crazy how much like one company can affect an entire market. Like the stock market, crypto market would not.
Okay, whatever. Let me know.
Dependent. Is Nvidia? Are they still just big because they're doing all the GPU for like mining and also for AI stuff?
Yeah, I think the AI hype is the bigger like moneymaker for them. The thing that's giving them more like hype, at least market value hype. But yeah, they're huge on AI because they're the ones who manufactures the chips, who you like the chips that you need in order to run all these massive AI like thought processes. And so as the person creating them, they're in a position where they basically have a monopoly on their own ability to have access to those chips, because they decide, they sell those chips to everyone else, and they also do their own AI stuff. And so there's a investment thesis about Nvidia that basically says that they're going to stay ahead of the competition indefinitely because they hit the ground running and are ahead of the competition, and everyone else is buying from them. So they're basically able to like control the entire AI market. I'm not sure how accurate that is, especially in the wake of what was that recent Chinese AI company that launched and got very close to like what ChatGPT had accomplished, but with like less resources and as a startup versus years and years of achievement. And so like I don't think that because you're ahead of the game and have access to more chipsets, it means you're gonna be ahead forever. But there's definitely like an investment thesis especially in degen circles and in tech investor circles that surrounds this concept that AI is a technology that can self-improve. So if you develop your own AI and then give it the task of creating better hardware, that hardware will then be in turn able to run an AI that can basically engineer better hardware faster than anyone else because it's being engineered by the best hardware. And therefore that hardware, which is always self-improving, should never be outpaced, is kind of like the, I don't know, in my mind, science fiction concept there. But that's definitely a concept that like gives AI a lot of hype for these businesses that have AI as part of their investment thesis or proposition.
I still think there's definitely like a little extra hype than there should be. Like I don't know. It's hard because technology has kind of been like exponentially increasing, but my whole thing was like like the difference between like the first 5 generations of the iPhone and the difference between the 20 and the 19 or whatever. Like, I don't know what number we're on now, but like the changes have become less in like newer models. So like I do think like
yeah, definitely.
like stuff doesn't exponentially increase forever, even though I don't know, it's just not sustainable. Like, or maybe my brain's just too small to comprehend it. But like, I just don't believe that it can like keep increasing at the rate it's been increasing forever. That just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, at some point it has to like level off, right? Like plateau out. You'd think, but it's definitely an exponential. Yeah, and you can see like even in our lifetime, the progression of technology has been like absurd. It's insane how far ahead. Like the stuff that I can buy on like a $10 like little memory chip now, I think is like what would have cost me thousands of dollars like not 10 years ago, and been like a pipe dream to even manufacture. And these days it's like, oh, there's like I've gotten like advertisers in the mail that include like little like, oh, here's a like USB stick that has like 16 gigs on it and like this bullshit. And it's just like, oh, that's as cheap today as like a piece of paper. But I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Does that mean that like in the future you could get like touch screens and stuff for like $50?
Also, like,
which maybe.
like at a certain point, like there will be not as much reason to keep increasing the hardware. Like a certain point, I feel like we're gonna get to the point where like the hardware just runs all the software you need. So like, do you really need to keep exponentially increasing if like we can't come up with things that need more hardware? I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, at what point can it just do everything we need to do, and why would we keep increasing?
Yeah, I always feel that way too, but at the same time, it's like my main perspective on that stuff is from the visual effects world, right? Like, and especially if you look at stuff like CGI, where you used to have hardware that would take like hours and hours to render what can be rendered today in like real time. But now that hardware that renders that shit in real time is still queued on tasks that take hours and hours. So like you just throwing more and more at the hardware, no matter like it basically doesn't really matter how high the capacity for its ability gets. You're gonna always like run that shit at capacity, I feel like. But yeah, I don't know how we're gonna continue to like come up with enough data to feed these hardwares that are getting so absurdly like impressive. But we'll have to see. With NVIDIA earnings looming, there's another thing looming though. And this is since we're talking DeFi. I mean, right now let's look at the market really quick, actually. So we have the daily chart for ETH up. We're pulling back. We've been with the indicator, we've gotten a bear print way back when ETH was at like 3,600 or something, and we actually flipped on our strength band here to red at like 30, let's say 33, 34. So if we were waiting for that, like this would have been kind of like our earliest bear signal, right around 3,400, I'd say. But of course, the main like exit point here is then when we got our retest and the strength band held as resistance, which kind of confirms our downturn. So realistically, this would be kind of like the first time where I'd be like, okay, I'm opening, like, or I'm selling, I'm out of here, basically. And what we're looking for is in a downturn like this is the band here to act as resistance, and that's exactly what we're seeing. So you can see here, we approached the band, got to it, and then got rejected and have now been sent packing, basically dumping down. It's a little of an aggressive drop, but if you look at the fact, especially with ETH and several other altcoins, that recently there was a huge drop like as part of this long wick, that isn't super surprising then that the liquidity depth, between where this wick ended and where the market was, trying to pull back from, isn't super deep. So to see a large drop in this area isn't super terrifying until we see it drop like a lower low than this previous week, a little wick. And so looking at ETH, I'm looking for that support to hold around like 2150. And that's kind of like the next, or the current like level of support, where we're looking for a bounce. Obviously, if we are going to, start to reverse this longer term downtrend here and, start pulling up and stay more true to a weekly range rather than flipping and turning bullish, you can see the weekly range is actually between 4,000 and 2,000. So this has just been moving in this giant range for almost, what is it, since December 2023. So it's been moving in this range for a few years, whereas Bitcoin, had an actual trend and was doing a bull run. ETH was just kind of trending, and it's trending between 4K and 2K. So that bottom of that range is still going to be very strong support for us right now. 2K is still 10%, 15% away. No, less than 15, but more than 10% away. So lots of decent amount of room down, but also what we'd be looking for is, if we're looking at this range, just little, get the fuck out of here. These little taps of it, you can see in the past when we have kind of, found the momentum to actually push this low, they don't last long and very quickly bounce up from there. And so that's kind of what I'm looking for here is we could probably move down, but it is looking for a bounce now and looking to basically stay in the range, which isn't bullish or bearish. It's just kind of a continuation of this lame market for now, at least on the ETH and altcoin side of things. Although I wouldn't extrapolate that to all altcoins. I'd say Solana had an actual bull trend for a while. Here you got Solana isn't just flatlining, although you can see it was similarly from December 2023 here. And no, it's more of a range. It's more of a trend than a range, but it has also taken a huge beating here in the last few weeks. You can see losing the strength band, which was kind of giving us that trend up. This is more of an indication of a flip in range or flip in trend. But anyway, looking now at ETH, we are seeing it is in this range. We're looking for more support to happen around 2K. It's possible to fall this low. It's painful. You can see the weekly is oversold, so we are looking for support now. We're looking for it to flip here. Looking at the daily also, we're not quite oversold yet, so again, room to make that move, but looking kind of for a bounce. And then again, we'll be watching to see, are we going to form a higher high after this bounce, or will that be a lower high, which will then if it then reverses, then we're looking to retest this band or this 2K again, and potentially push lower and start a bear trend here. Actually start trending bearish. Looking at Bitcoin, it's also not looking quite as bullish as we'd like it to, especially on the longer time frame that we generally give most weight. You can see this big red candle here on the weekly chart, giving us a very volatile week. You also have, like I said, the macroeconomic picture kind of stirring the pot a bit with all the tariffs and all the uncertainty on a global scale, especially with I don't know, I don't have to get into all the stuff that's going on the global scale, but it's definitely causing market volatility across the board. Looking also at the stock market, the weekly is closing or has closed relatively bearishly, and the day is printing bear and is flipping. So you can see we do get a few fake outs here on the daily chart, so I'm not too concerned about the print yet. But looking at the weekly close for the SPY, it is looking less bullish. You can see how basically in a very general sense how steep this climb has been, and how in the last chunk it's been flattening out here. And so this is starting to look like it's
a little bit.
Oh, here I can move it over here. You can see how steep this climb has been, and then how it's not continued to be able to stay that steep is kind of an early indication here on the weekly chart. And like I said, flipping the daily bearish, and basically looking kind of slumpy as well. Similarly with crypto, though, the daily is starting to look oversold. So crypto has a little bit of way down, and then the weekly for the stock market is looking like on the oversold side, but still has room. Now looking at the tech sector, this is where the earnings call is happening tonight. We have the same kind of story. Similarly, less aggressive looking, not quite looking bearish yet, but not looking as bullish as it once did. On the daily chart, maybe running a little bit out of steam. So here's kind of what the plan would be, especially with a bull print stuck on the daily chart. So this is printed. So now what we probably expect to see is a pull back up in the next few days to maybe retest the daily strength band, be rejected, and start making lower lows. If we do get that, then I'd expect the same to happen with crypto now, where we would probably see Bitcoin pull back up to retest the bottom of where this range previously was. You see like kind of where these wicks like stopped. So like basically retest like 88 to 90K or something. Let's say 88 to 92K or something like that. Like retest this range. And then if it's going to stay bearish, start making, a lower high there and continue down. So it'd be something like, up to here and then pulling down like that, like a, especially having such an aggressive few days of selling, it is tempting to just be like, sell it all right now, let me get short and let me fucking run for the hills. But we have to understand that there is pressure in the other direction too. So if you haven't had a chance to set short yet or sell, what we're going to be looking for in order to take those actions is for a lower high to form. So if we do see now Bitcoin retracing and starting to lose steam around 92K, maybe take that opportunity to start off risking some of your Bitcoin position, selling it for 90, 91, 92-ish. And then if it does start falling below, and you'll see it starting to pull back, maybe drop into short positions and look for a lower low to start taking profits or setting stops in profit if you trade like that. But what we want to do with this is going to be move around our little positions. But before I do that, it is almost time for voting on Aerodrome, and I have to vote. So I thought I would show that off on stream here live. So Aerodrome is the biggest exchange by volume on the Coinbase blockchain. So let me go first here and look at overviews, or chains rather. We'll go to chains, blockchains. You can see Coinbase's blockchain is the base chain here. It's the 7th largest DeFi ecosystem based on total value locked, with $2.96 billion in value. So looking at that base chain, of that $2 billion, you have 868 million of it as liquidity on Aerodrome. So this is the biggest DeFi exchange, the DEX on base chain. The second biggest one is Uniswap, which is always a good option, honestly. But yeah, Aerodrome, lots of liquidity. It's a big exchange, and it has this. We've touched on it before, but I'll give a quick overview one more time. It works similarly to Alcor and Uniswap and stuff in the sense that people supply liquidity and people can come to trade. So you come up here to swap, then just like you would expect, you then are able to swap, let's say 1 ETH. And right now with the price of ETH moving around, USD, we can get, 2,325 or something USDC for this. I'm sure. 1,330. So there we go. You can then swap just like you normally would anywhere. Just like anywhere else, there's a liquidity pool side to this. So if I click up here on liquidity, you can see here's the different liquidity pools. And then those are split up between basic and concentrated. So this is concentrated is basically what we're used to on Alcor, where you set a range. It's not 0 to infinity, but it's a specific range. Basic is for pools that are just 0 to infinity, and you're supplying your liquidity in equal parts. If you supply liquidity to any of these pools, so you can look at all these pools here. I'll look at the basic just because their APR is most accurate. You can click here on the right. There's an APR you get paid. It'll organize these pools based on APR. And then you can see if I was to supply liquidity to this pool, whatever the fuck MST is, you could earn almost 800% APR. And this APR was then paid out in Aerodrome's token, AERO. All of the liquidity pools are paid in Aerodrome's token. So looking at stuff like USDA and Euro, like this is a ridiculous APR for euros. This is a stablecoin pool paying 250% APR. Yeah, after the stream, I'm going to have to enter this pool. This is ridiculous. But anyway, so how do we decide who gets paid what in this? And then that comes from the fees. So you can see a pool like this has $116,000 in volume, for example. Of that, because it's 0.3% trading fees, so $350 of that is collected as fees. You can see it's split between those two assets that are in the pool. Those fees don't go to the liquidity provider. So if you're in this pool with your liquidity, you didn't actually earn those fees. You're earning the 250% APR paid in Aerodrome tokens. The fees, instead, those get paid to the voters, and that's what we're here to do. So on the top, there's a voting tab. I'm going to click this voting tab, and this is going to open up basically another panel that shows all the different pools. You know, they're down here. You can go all the different pages of them. But these are all the different pools. And so, like, for example, let's look at the one we were just looking at, USDA and US here. And then so here you'll see the fees. So, I mean, right now this is the fees from not this week. Like we just saw, there's $300 something in fees. This is the fees from last week. So this is always 1 week behind. But here it's going to be all the fees from the trading from that week. Obviously, this is a new stablecoin pool. USDA and EuroA. These are both stablecoin made by the Angle protocol, which is recently been deploying on base chain. So the stablecoins aren't new, but they're new to base chain, which is why they don't have a history of fee collecting. But looking at, like, let's look at a different pool. Like, for example, if I look at my vote down here, I'm voting for the Euro coin and Bitcoin pool, which is currently paying 48% voting APR, which I would make $9 if I vote for this pool. That's like, today. And you can see voting, like I said, voting ends in 2 hours. So looking at that pool, right? Let's go to CB Bitcoin. It was Eurocoin and Bitcoin. Let's see, where's that one? Maybe I should look up Eurocoin. There's going to be a lot of Bitcoin pairs. Eurocoin, there it is. And Bitcoin. This is the pool that I'm voting for. You can see I'm already ready to vote here, but you can see it earned $1,000, $1,500 in fees, and those fees is going to be what I get paid. If I get paid out from this pool, so I'm going to get paid Eurocoin and Bitcoin if I vote for this pool. But I want to make sure I get the most I can possibly get for my voting shares. And so what I'm going to do is clear here and organize all these pools by VAPR, which is the voting APR that's paying. This can change for the next 2 hours as more people vote for this. Like this one, for example, says it's 41%, but you can see the total rewards available here. Total rewards available here is only $41. So obviously, if $41 isn't 141% for my position, then I can't make this here. The reason that it's this high is because there's only 2,500 VE AERO voting for this. I have a voting position here worth 2,000 AERO. So I have 2,000 VE AERO tokens. So I would basically double this, and I would end up cutting this APR down to like 70% or less. And I would be getting paid in WBLT and TYBG. I don't want this I'm not going for this, even though it is the highest APR. I'm looking for a pool that pays in assets that I actually want, that has a decent liquidity depth of rewards, and already has a decent amount of voting, and so won't be diluted too far. The alternative here would be to wait 2 hours and do this like 10 minutes before the voting ends, so that you can be pretty sure that the APRs aren't going to change a whole lot more. But I'm going to do it now just because I want to know what's going down. I want to make sure I get what I want, basically. Here's a stablecoin pool paying 70%, but it's only $30. There's already 4,000 committed to this. This one's not going to fly for me.
Random
I might end up...
Sounds like you should wait until the last minute to vote.
Yes, that's exactly right. So you'd wait till the last minute. And then here's another reason for that, is that you can see here incentives, right? That pool that's paying 141%, I can say add incentives here, and literally anyone could do this, and I can pay any other token as a bribe to voters. So basically, if I go back to vote, you can look at if I look for incentives, you can see pools like this one here. They're paying 250,000 AERO tokens, which is worth $156,000 as a bribe for more APR. So you can see the fees that this pool earned this past epoch is only 3,300, but on top of that, they're paying $155,000 to people who are voting for this pool. The effect of that is they're going to get a lot more votes. Look, there's $19 million voting for this pool, which means that the APR for the pool itself is going to be a lot higher for the next week than it would be if they didn't add these incentives. And so there's a lot of liquidity pool incentives, like bribes like this, that get put in place within the last 30 minutes or so of voting. And so, yes, waiting to the last minute is definitely the move if you're trying to extrapolate the most value from this. But keep in mind, when you vote for something like this, you're getting paid in what the bribe is. So this, I would earn my AERO tokens, where the pool I'm currently voting for, sure, I only make $9, which is 49% APR on the value of my voting shares. But this $10 is in euros and Bitcoin, which I would prefer having over maybe like Klima tokens or whatever they're bribing here, Champ token here. And so keeping in mind, sometimes these are new pools too, and you get something like this where they're giving 1.5 million Champ tokens, which is worth 20 grand right now, to a pool that only earned $300 in trading fees. That means that today, in 2 hours, this Champ token, 1.5 million of these are distributed to voters. And those voters are almost definitely going to just dump those tokens. So this is another, like, you can look on here and see maybe sometimes there's like, small cap tokens. And look at this, here's another million for Champ. This Champ token is about to get multiple millions dumped on the market in the next 2 hours. From people, who are only here like me voting to the highest bidder. And that only works if I then also realize the money that I'm making from selling. So exactly inadequate mass. This would give people potential to short. Obviously, everyone can see this information, and so then there's obviously the people on the other side of this who are like looking for people to try to short to then bull trap you and like wipe you out. So it's not quite as straightforward as like, oh, this is an insider list of where to find stuff. But this is all like, this is how the voting works on this exchange, and this exchange is the biggest by like a huge factor on the base blockchain. So most of the most of the new token and most of the legitimate liquidity that lives on the base blockchain does tend to, go through this exchange. But what I want to do now is I want to make sure I get, my votes. And oh, right, if I don't vote, I voted for this pool last week already. So if I don't vote this week, it'll just carry over. And so I don't actually have to re-vote for this pool. I'll be fine. Like worst case scenario, basically, I'm getting my $10 of euros in Bitcoin. So now best case scenario, I want to see if I can get more than that, and from a pool that I actually want the assets of. So looking at what pools are, like USD SFARX isn't bad at 70%, but $14 isn't going to get me there. These are all too small. Let's go to page 2. $80, 150. I need something with like a couple, like this one, maybe. ETH and HEU. I don't want HEU tokens, and a portion of this is bribed in AERO, which I don't mind having AERO. Those are easy to sell. There's deep liquidity for that. But I don't know. It's not enough. A couple of these. Honestly, I think the one I'm in is going to be the one I stick with. And the only thing that I'm going to do is I'm actually going to submit another vote, and that's because there's a vote decay. So I need basically my locked AERO. Actually, I don't need to do that. Automatically happens. But yeah, so you can choose your thing, and then all you do is basically vote for it. You can also, I guess I could show this off really quick. If I really wanted to be like, let me just see if I can make the most out of this, but I don't want to risk it all, I'll go to the very first page here, the highest pool, and I can select this one. And then I can go under vote, and I can vote 75% of my voting share to the Bitcoin pool and the remaining 25% to this pool. And so I can split this vote between multiple assets. And you can see with this one, I would end up, $7 from my Bitcoin reward and then another 6 from here. And hey, maybe if this works out, this was a way for me to boost that APR without rolling the dice that this pool is going to be paying out, well enough for me to be interested. But it's kind of cool. You can split your votes. I don't actually need to vote because I'm just going to stick with my Euro Bitcoin pool. What'll happen next is, the voting will happen, and then you just come to your dashboard, and you'll be able to see voting rewards right here, and then you can just claim them once they're there. You can also just let them sit. So if you want to continue voting for the same pool on auto repeat, it'll just keep piling up those rewards. But keep in mind, your APR decreases based on your lock. This is a linearly vesting position. Over 4 years, this will become worth nothing. So in 2 years, it'll be worth half of what it is. So you basically would have to relock it every few months or something to keep your voting weight up. And then that can all be automated if you come up here to this lock section, and there's these relays, and you can literally just deposit to a relay, and then it'll automatically do all of this stuff for you. And this person's this relay's APR is about 52%. So this is pretty fucking solid. The only downside of the relay here is that any rewards that a relay makes are converted into AERO and then added to your voting stake. So all this stuff stays locked. Whereas when you do this manually, you have your own dashboard, and then you can earn tokens like Bitcoin and euros or whatever the fuck I'm going to earn from my votes this week. And if I had voted for this, I could earn these TYBG tokens. So this is voting for this stuff is another way to kind of get a cut of stuff if you want, a distribution of it. But yeah, looking back at the market, though, we kind of got our sense of what we want to do. We think we maybe get a bounce and then continue into a lower low. So let's see what we want to do on the Wax blockchain. Or should we do a giveaway first?
Giveaway real quick.
Let me jump over to Alcor.
Give it away now.
Classic GameStop. Yeah, I mean, I feel like there is a part of the market dropping like this that has to do with the institutional players who are currently playing now. The fact that we have all these ETFs, and several of those ETFs aren't backed by actual Bitcoin or Ethereum. They're backed by future contracts. And so there's a decent amount of massive hedge fund money that was basically covering future contracts and buying the Bitcoins or the ETH to cover those contracts, and then earning the fees from the contract and the premiums for selling the futures. Those fees have since the market's now turning down, the interest you can make doing that strategy dropped from 20% to 4 or 5%, which is no longer worth the hassle or the risk. And so you see a lot of huge players basically dumping their ETH and their Bitcoin holdings to basically rotate into other higher yield generating positions because the yields dried up. And that's ultimately healthy for the market to become more stable, but in the short term, I totally understand why it becomes very volatile. You have a shit ton of money, and these vehicles that were earning people APR, there's several exchanges that are oh, you can earn 3% on your Bitcoin, which is how? 3% is a metric shit ton for Bitcoin. But
exclamation point Neon if you want to join this giveaway. I mean, it started as a larger scale, more legitimate version of DeFi platforms launching. You lock up your liquidity here, we'll give you a shit ton of rewards, and then everybody dumps the rewards, and then they jump onto the next DeFi platform. Mm-hmm. Essentially that,
yeah, exactly.
But with ETFs and the big boys doing it.
Yep. Yeah, and then it just, the effect of that in our circles is oh shit, the market's really volatile. It's very strange.
Well, if nobody else wants to join this, Random King has a 100% chance of winning right now. So, last call. Does anybody want to steal Random King's guaranteed Wolf prize?
I can still get the glory though.
You can still get the glory, but
for glory,
let's launch it. Random King is at the right place at the right time.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I saw Pump.Fun had their Twitter account hacked, I guess, or at least they say they did.
I didn't. Oh, that was super fast.
Let's
Max got the
go.
glory.
Glory.
I thought I
Hey,
saw.
didn't matter, man.
I saw that like the was it Bybit that got hacked?
Yeah. $1.5 billion.
No, but I saw that somebody linked that to like I think Sid posted that somebody linked that to like scam coins on Solana, like the same contract, like the same
Oh yeah.
wallet has been pumping and dumping meme coins on Solana somehow.
I'm so not fucking surprised by that. I think that was the Lazarus group. That's the same group of like hackers that also drained the Horizon Bridge from Harmony.
Yeah, I guess they've been fucking around on Solana.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they've been like
that's sort of how
they
like
make their living scamming. So I'm not surprised by that.
yeah. I'm honestly surprised Solana lasted as long as it did with like all the shit coins and like I don't know. They're like guaranteed scams, yet people were still buying them. I guess that happened on Wax with games and stuff. I feel like on Wax there's at least like at least I thought, and I think a lot of people thought like this shit's gonna be legitimate.
Yeah.
Maybe people thought about the meme coins, but like I
Mm.
don't know how you think that there's no like evidence to support that a meme coin's gonna do anything ever.
Yeah, for real. I'm honestly still blown away by what is it, Woof, and how Woof did.
Yeah, Wolf's still not worth nothing, which is
Not worth. It's still like a $20 million market cap. It's like, damn, that's a
down a bunch. Those 24 cents now that we're sending to
damn.
Random King. When at one point that was like over $1, right?
Yeah.
Whole market's down though, so I would expect what's going on with this.
Yeah, my Wax side stuff has been kind of chunky.
Can't tell if this is an Alcor issue or a browser issue. Oh, what no, Anchor's not working. Nothing's working.
Classic.
Yeah, there's still. I mean, I'm surprised there's as much in WUF as there still is, since
Yeah.
basically everybody on Wax that I talked to just saw as a way to sell immediately and get free money. Like,
Yeah.
but
I mean, I did that too.
All right.
And then I was like, I shouldn't have sold it all that quick.
There's a new form up, ! Neon, if you want to join.
I'm in.
Both Random King and LOTDS missed, so you guys have to retype it. And I'm going to go back to Max's screen for now. Make some Wax moves.
Let's see what moves we want to make. I gotta log into a different wallet here.
Going into some USDC position seemed like the right move.
Yeah, for sure. And those, I'm really, oh man, I got to see how high that. So the reason I didn't immediately also, when I saw that 250% APR for those stable coins, the reason I didn't like immediately abandon ship and like jump for that is because in 3 hours when the voting happens, the APRs are going to reset for the next week. So we'll see what they are for next week before I move.
We didn't look what's the price of Wax right now?
Oh yeah, let's take a look.
Imagine it's down like everything.
Yeah.
Imagine it's not mooning as Bitcoin and Ethereum crash.
Let's see. Wax on the daily chart. No, it's not mooning. Although it's also not tanking quite as hard. Wax is down 1% today when Bitcoin's down 5 and ETH is down 7. So that's at least nice to see. You can see kind of a similar deal going on here as what we were seeing with Wax or with ETH, where we had like a huge candle that took us to like 2.5 cents. And now we're kind of like rejected at the strength band and probably retesting 2.5 cents. And it looks like that 2.5 cents wick also pushed us to lower lows than the previous wicks.
Wax might see
not good.
All-time low. Like Bitcoin and Ethereum and stuff. It's like, yeah, we're talking about pushing back to like 80, even 75K or whatever, which is like devastating for people that bought it at 90, 100K. But like Wax is like it's could be lower than it's ever been, which is not the case for Bitcoin's not going back to 2013 prices like anytime soon.
Yeah, it definitely makes it hard also with the model of like increasing the payment to block producers based on the value of the token. Makes the inflation of this a lot higher, I feel like, right?
Yeah.
We'll have to see. Not a good look.
That
look at the
like
weekly.
Gas fees and stuff, but like I just don't know that works.
Who's paying?
Like, in theory it does, but in practice I don't know that it works.
I'm not paying any gas fees.
I also saw that I was reading the Wax Telegram channel today, and they said they like the CS2 market is on pause.
Oh yeah.
Not that, I mean, we already talked about that. I don't think that was going to contribute anything to the overall Wax ecosystem besides people that are already here having one more kind of fun thing to do. But I don't think that was going to save it. But if anybody was like, what's the update on that? They said that like there's like legal issues, so they kind of just like put a pin in
it. That's lame. But I guess that makes sense. I wonder what they are working on. But yeah, not ideal. Let's see what we can do with this though while we're over here.
I'll be right back. I'm gonna grab another sparkling water.
Yeet. Okay, so it looks like I'm jumping over to our DeFi wallet right now, and I'm looking at our earnings. And it looks like we're in Yeet LSW, which isn't really paying super high compared to like this 90%. I feel like we should pull from this one for sure. This is a really solid APR still. I guess the first thing I want to do is I'm going to pull from the LSW Yeet pool, and then I'm going to claim all rewards. I'm going to probably sell the Yeet side of this and maybe going more into the Rook LS Wax pool. This one at 90% with a multiple month runway, paying us 1.2 wax a day on a position that is worth 500 wax. That's not bad. So let's do that. Okay, so starting with LSW Yeet, I think we started with this one with 50 wax. We had 25 on the side ish of LS wax, probably like 24 something. But it's been dropping, and I'm not sure that the APR is high enough to keep up with this anymore with the drop. So I'm going to say let's pull out of LSW Yeet for now and look for something with a higher APR. Maybe we can keep the Yeet tokens and see if there's like a really high APR pool for them. But let's see. So I just wanted to pull those. I'm keeping our Neon, which we also think started with 25, so still holding basically at that, and then we're getting our APR on top of that. Plus I like Neon as a biased person. Well, there it is. A sneeze brewing.
I've been sneezing a bunch. I don't know if it's allergies or sickness, but
yeah,
I don't really feel like sick outside of the sneezing though, so I feel like it's allergies.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Let's go back. Okay, here we go. Okay, so now I want to go to earn and then farms. And I'm going to claim all the positions that we've just harvest all this. Nice, 22 wax on the wax side. That's solid. All right, let's see. And then I want to take my Yeet. Or I guess let's first take a look at what farms exist that maybe have a higher APR. We got to compete with 92% for LS Wax Rook or 210 for FTW LS Wax.
Are you the one putting up those rewards, or?
Yeah. But it's just from the minted tokens. Like there's 1 billion total, and then half of them I put into the LP, and then I put like 100 million as the rewards, and then every like week or two I just like claim whatever the wallet earns and re-add it to the pool again. So the APR goes down slightly. Like it was 300% or something like a month ago. It goes down every like week or so a little bit as it gets distributed, but not terrible. It's also like there isn't the APR I put into it was initially like also bought off the market, so it's like not inflating really. It's just kind of like distributing to people who supply liquidity.
We got
which is us right
days
now.
left on the neon, and then we'll have to.
Yeah, so we got almost a month on. We got at least a month on all of these, which is great. But let's see if I do not staked only. Can we do better than with our like Yeet tokens? First, let's just look at a Yeet pool. Partly because Yeet is actually down quite a bit. And in the past, Yeet has done this weird pattern of like, here, let's see if we can see it. Where it's like, it'll trail down until they do some kind of big injection of liquidity rewards or something that like spikes it, and then it trends down again. Like, let's look at here it is. Let's do a reset. You can kind of see what I'm talking about. Yeah, here. So like trends down and then big spike, trending down, big spike, trending down. Maybe we get a big spike, even if it's not a back to like all-time highs. It would be nice if it like spiked to like maybe the red line or something like that, making a new lower high and giving us a better exit. But right now it's like, not necessarily the moment where I'm like, oh, this is a good sell opportunity. And we wanted to roll the dice on Yeet anyway. We're not like crazy overcommitted, so let's see what we can do with the Yeet. I just typed Yeet into the farms here, and I want to see which of these pools are paying.
Let me see if I can
remember
go to
which.
I want to say their profile picture drop is coming.
Oh, nice.
I don't know that people are interested in that though. Like, I don't know that will pump. That is like the main use case.
Yeah. Here, this one's actually paying pretty decent.
January to February 2025, 1,000 Yeet PFP. NFT collection royalty buyback in February. Guessing that was delayed because about the PFPs. We're almost done with February of 2025, and there's not a single PFP on their website.
Yeah, I don't think. I imagine. I wonder how much it costs. Like 100,000 Yeet is 60 wax.
Not a lot at the current prices.
No, yeah, 1 million Yeet would be $1 or $18.
Then I believe they're supposed to burn all of that. So, like, in theory, it would be good, but in practice,
right?
You still need people to buy it, and yeah, each burning 0.05% of the Yeet supply for each PFP.
Okay.
So at times 1,000, would that be 50% of the total supply? I'm not the best at math.
Right, I think so.
But yeah, we'll see.
Random King sold all his. I don't think it's. I mean, if you sold it before it all like bottoms out, not bad. I'm just like, we've held it. We got a decent amount of it. It's not paying APR the way I want it to. And it's our gamble position. I feel like let's keep rolling it.
Maybe I'll join their social to see like.
Here we go. Yeet and Woof. This looks like a pool I can get into. 100 plus 60 plus 40 plus 25. That's like serious APR and big runway. This kicks the shit out of what we were doing before. So let's do this. I'm going to go and swap our LSW into Woof as the counterpart because we were coming from the LSW pool. And then go from that into that LP. So
a button to join their Discord that just does not work on the website. Seems legit.
Yeah, so you can see I have like 70 cents worth of this, but I have 22 LSW. And I got my Woof here. I'm going to swap for this, and I'm going to roll these dice. What?
Bro, this Yeet website is so janky. Can't do
I
Telegram
wouldn't be
either.
surprised if I wouldn't be surprised if it never actually comes out with anything. That's more par for the course than anything, honestly.
I mean,
all right, so
with AI and shit, I feel like not that hard to put out a shitty 1,000 really want.
yeah, that's for sure.
Also, with like the generators and stuff that people have built, like you really can put a very minimal work, and it's not gonna be good, but
Yeah.
you can still. First says that BERA's got some killer APRs. Just saying. I don't know if I know what BERA's is. Is that
Bears? All right, let's take a
BERAS?
look.
BERAS. I think he's posting about it in Comic Kings. The other thing that like Jolly and Alcy were talking.
ERAS?
An Arbitrum subchain.
Oh, okay. Let me finish doing my nonsense here, and then let me check that out after. So I want to go into that. What was it? Yeet Woof.
Well, I was trying to find updates on the Yeet project, and it turns out I can't join any of their socials. Like, all the links are broken on their website, which I would say is a red flag, but
yeah, that feels like a red flag. Maybe we just ditch our Yeet here too. Then I mean,
I'm gonna see if I can find a
King.
Twitter.
We're just dicking around with it anyway, and I mean, we have like 70 cents worth of it, but
Yeet.
yeah, that doesn't feel like the best idea. Then let's see how much we can get for a Yeet.
Okay, so I found their Twitter. Their Twitter last posted on November 19th, 2024.
Okay.
That could be why the price is also going down.
Yeah, like nobody's maintaining anything. That and it's like nonsense, and it's just nonsense.
Yeah.
Oh look,
I mean,
with the rewards we gotten from the this should be worth about 25 wax, but look, with our rewards are 26, so we maybe are breaking even if we just sell here, and that might not be the worst idea to do, honestly.
maybe they are around. Their website's just broken. I don't know if anybody. I was never in like the communities and shit, but I also wouldn't be surprised if it's like abandoned. I don't know. It's a meme coin on wax. I feel like every single one of them is like a complete gamble.
Yeah, I guess if that's the case, let's stick with the one. I say we do more Rook LS Wax then, and since that's actually a project we know like has a creator who's actually building something on Wax and put their own money up for their liquidity, which is more commendable than anything anyone else has done on Wax, honestly, in like the last year. So let's just do that, and that one's been doing well for us anyway. We already have 500-ish Wax in here, and it's printing for us. So let's just migrate the last of this. So I'm going to do this one. I'm going to swap our Yeet for Rook. I also farm that one in my other wallet. I don't really farm the Yeet stuff. Here we go. So let's do that. Feel better about holding this token anyway. Especially if none of their fucking links work or anything.
I'm sending you a link that Burst just sent, Max. Check out after this.
Nice, yeah, I see it. Boom.
In the old Discord.
Okay. So let me just double check, make sure I have everything I need. Rook. I have LS Wax, and then let's see. Let's sell our. I think we still have Woof now that I just scooped. I think what we could do is swap our Woof and also just compound it into that pool. So I'm just going to go to Woof and do 50% into Rook as well, and do the other 50% into LS Wax. Keep it straightforward. Only 3 LPs this week. Got that one. LS Wax. We'll do maximum here. 12 waxes. Boom. All right, and now I gotta go to pools, increase liquidity. Whoops. Here we go. Pool, increase liquidity. And it looks like I need to go from the LS wax side.
I'm going to throw out you another giveaway if wrapping up, just like the technical trading of.
Yeah. Do another. I'm gonna finish this. Looks like we'll be in the pool now. There it is. All right, and that's all I wanted to do. I think the last thing I'll do is I'll sell our wax for more LS wax, just to have some, or I'll sell our FTW, so we can start recovering some of the 25 wax we put into that. Plus, it's been paying like 300% APR. That's ridiculous. We got to capture some profits while the getting's good.
All right, exclamation point Neon if you want to join this Grubfish giveaway. We're giving away 1 million woof. So hot in my room right now. It's like 85 degrees in here. Getting sweaty.
Yeah, I got my fan on me right now. It's nice. Damn, our FTW rewards are worth 6.7 wax on a 50 wax stake. That's pretty solid. Yeah.
I like how our show is like anybody can earn on wax and DeFi, and that turned into if you make your own token and then do the right thing. like you have a position in Neon and a position in FTW. It's like, yeah, all you have to do is make your own token and not be a scumbag, and then operate it for free. And
it is remarkable that those two tokens have done better for me than like almost any other like LP on wax, other than like the big, wax. What are they called? Like the liquid stake derivative ones. But yeah, it's crazy. If you make a token and don't rug pull it, it's crazy that the value doesn't just disappear.
And also have like some sort of idea behind, because I mean, people make tokens and don't rug pull them, and they're worthless just because
that's
like
true.
They don't understand the distribution, or like,
FTW is like top 70 on wax pretty much always.
Right,
but that's also because it gets volume is why, and the reason it gets volume is because the liquidity is split between wax, LS wax, LSW, and USDC. Oh, and Woof. But between those 5 coins, like 3 of them are wax derivatives. So as the wax derivatives move, that drives volume through the pools. And then I created one of the deepest, like 0.05% USDC pools. So that pool gets a lot of traction as well. Yeah, Random King, do it. Let me know if you create a token now. If it's on wax, I can add some FTW rewards to your farm. Or I guess you would have to add them because you have to own one of the token contracts to actually add rewards to a farm on Alcor. Unless it's your token paired with my token. Yeah.
I mean, Avril will add some manually like he does for the Neon farm.
That's true. Yeah.
But I don't know how often he does that. Like if you're not a trusted person in the space like we are, I don't know if he'll just let anybody do that, but he's pretty good for us about it.
Yeah, definitely. He's helped me figure out some issues I've had too on my personal wallet. Like I had a couple like I had liquidity in a pool with bet token, and the bet token contract was locked because they migrated those tokens. And I couldn't withdraw my liquidity, even though the pool was all the way in wax. Like I was at a tight range, and all the bet tokens sold. But even though there was no bet tokens left, it wouldn't let me do it. It would fail because it said the token contract was locked. And I reached out to him, and he gave me a link to follow and a transaction to submit that fixed that issue, which I was
you want to look at this BERA hub
very happy about. Yes, let's take a look at it. NVIDIA. Yeah, I'm pulling it. Or you can pull it up too. Yeah, okay, I see it on your screen there.
Stick around on it though. You're more the DeFi guy.
Okay, let's see.
Has anybody made a thing called D5 guys?
I don't know.
A burger related. Probably a suit. I don't know.
They got sued for I know Trader Joe got sued for from Trader Joe's, which was like not. I don't know. I didn't follow the lawsuit, but I'm like, there's no way you're winning that lawsuit. Nobody assumed that Trader Joe's, the grocery chain, was making a DeFi exchange. Also, Trader Joe is like a huge DeFi exchange. Like they've hundreds of millions of dollars last time I checked anyway. Let's see, are they still around? Where's...
We use Wax Fusion, right? Isn't Wax Fusion the
LS Wax
shit?
Yeah.
Yeah, Wax Fusion is made by Mike of Wax DAO.
Look, you can see I just used it a second ago. Your wax has been staked. Boom.
You know what? I haven't heard of forever anything from Taco.
Yeah.
I should go check their Discord.
Let's see. I haven't heard of Taco
in a while either. I gotta still be in their Discord. There it is. 54 updates since I last.
Let's see.
Taco. The last announcement was Taco Swap update. Salsa rewards have been assigned to specific. I guess they're still going with their governance and stuff.
Oh, it looks like Taco's bounced back to like 4.2 wax from a low of like 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay. It still looks like it's making lower lows and lower highs though. See, if we're looking at the daily chart here, a nice bounce back, made a high, and then lower low. Nice bounce back, still lower high than this previous high. So
APR really only 2.2%. It should be higher than that.
It changes 2.92 right here, right now. But I think it changes like in real time. Like I feel like if
That's
I reload this page,
lower
it'll
than
be different.
staking your own wax.
0.92. Yeah, it's Let's see how that compares to this one.
Why'd the APR go down so much?
I'm not 100% sure. I know it fluctuates, but it usually stays above like 6 or 7.
I mean, a good reason to use it would be to pair it with LSW and then earn the farm rewards on top, and then that might put you above what the staking yourself APR would be.
Yeah, exactly. So like that or trading arbitrage between. I did that a couple times where like I'll just go to like Wax Fusion, stake 10,000 wax, and then just go swap it right back and get my wax back and make more. Or sometimes the other way around, where I'll just buy the Wax Fusion with wax and then unstake it for more. That's a good one. And then yeah, if you go to farms, like Lewis was saying, there's pools. I think the best one's going to be like LS Wax and LSW or LS Wax and Wax. But like here's Wax, LS Wax, and this pool is paying 19% APR, which is going to kick the shit out of just staking it. And in this pool, you'll earn the 19% APR from the rewards, plus the 0.3% from the trading, plus the 2.9 or whatever percent from the LS Wax. So that's going to be a benefit of using a liquid stake derivative. Is the whole point is that you can still use the derivative in DeFi. And then here's the other one I was sucking. So if you do LSW, LS Wax in this pool, you'd earn 13% plus the staking APR from both of these different stake derivatives. So you can way outpace just staking it manually. Also, the 2.9 or 2.2% that is showed at Wax Fusion will change, and I think this averages to more like between 5 and 10. At least in my experience, it's definitely averaged a lot higher, and you can check that average yourself by going to trade and spot market, and then looking at the actual chart, or I guess the chart would be here too. If we go to the chart of LS Wax and Wax, you can see how it's done since inception compared to Wax. And so if we go here and now do like a daily chart here, you can see it's definitely staying above 2%, considering that it launched in here right here at 1. It launched in August 2024 at 1 to 1, and now is at 1.1. So it's already up like 13% or 12%, since launch, and it's been less than a year. So it's definitely averaging more than 2%. But like I said, on top of that, there's also the incentives from participating in those LPs. All right, let's look at this. For everything, proof of liquidity. Interesting. Okay, Bear Hub. I've never looked into this at all, but Burst was talking about this, and this isn't the first time someone's mentioned honey. I feel like this is something that was part of this, right? Okay, but let's see what this is. So it looks like it's a DEX. Yeah, Bear and honey. Do what kind of tokens I can swap here. USDCE. So this is probably yeah, Arbitrum. Oh, let me connect a wallet
chain,
here.
I think you said from Arbitrum.
Connect.
There's not a whole lot going on in Wax right now. That's
Let's take a look at these
giving
pools.
me faith for the chain, but
right. Pool APR. Oh, wait a minute. Is that 2,000% APR? Ooh. Wrapped Bear and honey. Oh, but this is... There's only 12 cents in this pool. So this, I wouldn't pay this no mind. But maybe this one here, 126% with a $10,000 pool? ETH and honey? Okay. So it looks like there's some... these are all the... No, okay, there's 21 pools. So it looks like you got... generally, not just general paired pools. It looks like there's also like balancer style pools. So you have like 3 assets in a single pool.
That's also
and it's
got
not
like
three.
$96,000 locked in it. That's not nothing.
Yeah. This is a balancer pool. So this is interesting because it's not just stable coins. It's stable coins and honey, which isn't, I imagine, is not a stable coin. But yeah, okay. So decent amount of pools here. Let's see what the deepest liquidity one is. I'm just curious. Oh, okay. Deep. $332 million in this pool. This rule is whitelisted. Okay.
More than the entire Wax ecosystem?
Yeah, that's more than all the Wax in circulation put together. 134 million in this jam. Okay, so there's actual like deep liquidity for honey as well. It looks like, although the volume in a pool that's this deep, $3 million of volume against $300 million of liquidity, this is incredibly inefficient. Most of this money's just sitting here doing nothing.
What's the APR
which is,
on it? Oh, yeah, it's super.
0.02, nothing. The biggest pool here, 88 million with 18%, is pretty fucking solid. But that's both of these are native tokens to this DEX, and 18% I think is a tough sell for something that's so niche in my book, at least. Like, I mean, you saw some of those APRs on like Aerodrome are like 700-800%, and that's ridiculous. You put $100 in that, you make like $100 every 5 days or something, assuming the $100 doesn't go to zero. Let's see, BGT is another token they're pushing. Let's see if here I see IBGT, but it makes sense that also has a lot of liquidity. Let's see what else they got here though. Vaults. See what sets this apart. I want to see some interesting things.
It says most of these are usable within the chain. It just launched 2 weeks ago. It's under.
Oh, I see. So instead of Arbitrum, like what I use is Arbitrum 1, which is like the main Arbitrum. There's also an Arbitrum Nova chain. So I guess this is like another subchain from Arbitrum, because the Arbitrum is like a network of roll-up chains.
You got some pretty heavy hitters on Arbitrum.
Yeah.
Is that what
definitely.
Uniswap's built on, or is that Polkadot shit?
Yeah, Uniswap is deployed on Arbitrum. It's built on Ethereum mainnet, but you can see Uniswap has. Oh right, they changed.
Wasn't there? Maybe it's not Uniswap. I thought one of the DEXs launched a coin through Arbitrum. Maybe it's like Kraken or something.
Oh, I forget which one, but that could be. Arbitrum definitely has a few like native. I think native USDX is on Arbitrum. Optimism also has a couple native tokens that I'm aware of. But let's see. There's what is this? All these different chains, all networks. So all these different networks work on Uniswap, Ethereum, Unichain, new. This is also brand new. BT Dubs. Uniswap has its own chain. Uniduck. Stupid nonsense on here already. Unicorn. I'm sure there's going to be a bunch of dumb shit on here. But yeah, lots of chains work on that. I think GMX is one of the biggest things that is on Arbitrum. It's on Arbitrum and Avalanche, but if you go to GMX's dashboard, you can see that Arbitrum is... Oh wait, no, we want to see the volume here. Arbitrum is doing $230 million in 24-hour volume on GMX today.
At 262 at the bottom.
262. Oh yeah, Oh, that's between adding that with Avalanche, but it's like Arbitrum V1 and V2 put together is like 240-ish million. But
a couple dollars.
You can see how much more that is too than Avalanche, and Avalanche is like a major VC chain. But yeah, so and then if you're unfamiliar with GMX, this is like a DEX that lets you trade all these different tokens now. And you can do that with either long or short positions as future contracts with leverage. You can see up to like 50x leverage. Or you can do swaps and then do limit trades like you would at your regular exchange, which is really cool. And let's see. Oh, yes. Yes, bounce back. I'm a deep long right now. Let's see. There we go. $70 positive on that so far. Come back. This one's still down 1,400. That's okay. Although this one's expensive to keep open. 255 fucking percent APY funding fee on this. It's just to hold. And I'm holding $12,600 on it, which is
damn.
It's like $40 a day. So I need it to bounce. The other side of that you're not seeing, I know it looks very red, is that I had a bunch of short positions. So I'm open both sides, and I've closed the short positions and made a shit ton of profit on that side. And now they're all closed. So now if the market bounces, all of those negatives go back to green, and I'll have one on both sides of this volatility. But fingers crossed, you can still get fucked. I mean, like you saw, I could close right now for like a $2,000 loss. But we'll see. I mean, I already made like a $2,600 win or something. So even if I closed it for a $2,000 loss, it's still a $600 win. But, you know, DeFi. Here we go. 1 hour left for the votes. I had to wait to see what the next liquidity pool is. And then what I've been doing also is, by the way, I'm in stable coins relatively heavily, still waiting for the market, like I said, to bottom. I want to see a higher high followed by a higher low, followed by a higher low before I actually start scaling back into crypto. And in the meantime, looking at some of the stablecoin pools here, I think is worth a peek, because some of these are paying like incredibly well. Like, I mean, 600% is absurd. But looking at like, USDC, USDT at 55% isn't bad at all. USDT also here. So, but then you can see so this is on Uniswap, This one, Pancake Swap, isn't bad. Like some of these I'm not familiar with and I won't really participate in. But I know I'm currently doing like on Base Chain. I think it's still, yeah. Okay, this is obviously the one. USDA Euro, I need to get into this. But I'm in this one here, the USDA USDC. 15% on stables. That's not bad. And then the other one that I like is, let me switch over to that account. If we go to liquidity, this is on hydration. This is on the Polkadot blockchain. So they have Polkadot native, USDT, and USDC liquidity pools right now. And let's see what they're paying. 26.48%. So you can see, I come here, my positions I have liquidity in those pools, and then I can claim, and it's something like $10 a day or something. I can come and claim. Let's see. Well, it's taking us time to think. Yeah, $20. So I can come here and claim liquidity rewards every day, and the entire liquidity position is just in cash. So that keeps me, from losing money on the downtrend, but still slowly buying into some of these crypto assets, which I really like. And so far it looks like I've made $56 worth of HDX just from staking stablecoins here, which again, those opportunities exist still quite a bit, and they're still paying really well. Like we saw earlier, looking at the liquidity for basic volatility, and it was USDA. Yeah, 76% for this pool. So you can see earlier it was 200 something. It's already way down. Like those types of opportunities don't last long. That's another part of why I didn't immediately scramble to throw all my money into it. But 76% on stable coins is ridiculously solid. That's $7,600 a year on 10 grand. So, multiple like dollars a day if you put that kind of liquidity into your pools, and then you got stable coins that are issued by a well-known, well-established protocol, which I like. But yeah, with all that in mind, I feel like that's actually everything I want to cover for DeFi today. But let's take a look back at this guy here. I still feel like I don't have a full understanding of where the incentives or what's going on here. I think this is just
there's document.
Yeah, I think this is just a DEX though. Let's see where I go. Explore.
I thought I saw like on
BTG. Interesting. So there's validators that are generating emissions. So this is like
if you go to the front page, it says dive into the documentation.
Okay, let's see this one a little bit.
It also says explore the BERA chain ecosystem, foundation ecosystem, honey, which is the BERA chain's native stablecoin, token bridge, BERA scan,
Let's see. Oh, hold on. What's this? I think so. Under Arbitrum Max. You know, because of me. Pulled me out of the cesspool over here. Hey, well, that's good. That's good to hear. But yeah, let's see. I want to see the docs here. Learning about BERA chain. What is BERA chain? Yes, tell me about it. High performance EVN identical layer 1 blocked. Okay, so it's a layer 1. Interesting. EVN identical. Meaning?
It also says proof of liquidity instead of proof of stake or proof of work.
Interesting. Beacon
that
kit.
Honestly, I don't know if I've ever heard the term proof of liquidity before.
Yeah. Well, let's get to that really quick. Okay, let's see. EVM identical. I'm not super familiar with that. EVM is obviously the Ethereum virtual machine. It says BERA chain's execution layer is identical to the Ethereum virtual machine runtime environment seen on Ethereum mainnet. This means that it uses existing unmodified execution clients like Geth, a bunch of names of clients,
Aragon,
and more to
Nethermind.
Yeah. And more to handle executing smart contracts and supporting all the tools that come.
It sound like Lord of the Rings characters' names.
Right?
Geth and Reth are favorite dwarves, and we got Aragon.
Aragon, and they got to go fight Nethermind.
Yeah, they got to go fight Nethermind, the all-seeing eye.
Interesting. Yeah, fun names, clearly made by nerds. I guess what that means is that this is compatible with EVM, which is a tried and true, time-tested, security system.
I think it's also saying for developers, anything that works on Ethereum or the EVM is plug and play over here, which is probably what that means mostly.
Yeah, let's see. Identical means that whenever the EVM is updated, BERA chain can adopt the latest version. For example, Duncan, straight out of the box. Duncan, yeah, that was the recent update for Ethereum that reduced the transaction fees on mainnet by like an insane amount. I don't know if you fucked with mainnet recently, but like I bridged money from mainnet the other day and it cost 80 cents in fees, which is totally okay. I haven't tried. Actually, I'm curious. Let me see really quick what the fees is for this.
Getting off the rails, kind of.
Little off the rails, but I want to know what the concentrator.
I think Sid also posted that like Uniswap won some sort of lawsuit.
Oh, I'll have to check that, but I love Uniswap.
Here I thought it was like Uniswap was being like been targeted.
sued by the SEC.
I think that is over now. But let me. I think it's in your Discord.
That's dope. Yeah, I have to check that out. Connect.
I see Sid post stuff, and I don't always click on it, but I get the headlines, and that's enough for me.
Here, I'll have to check that out too.
News info.
Delegation. Where's my 0%? Whatever. Let's see. How much does it cost to claim this now? This used to cost like hundreds of dollars.
The $12.80 investigation into Uniswap Labs.
Let's go. That's huge news. That flew under my radar. That's crazy. What's Uniswap trading at? I wonder if that is bumping it.
Sure, it's
Uniswap.
Helping the news.
It's under $8. Damn. I would say buy Uniswap.
I can read the article really quick.
$7 is where I was buying it recently, but
posted on blog.uniswap.org. That's how you know it's legit. It says a win for DeFi. SEC closes investigation into Uniswap Labs. This was February 24th, so 2 days ago. Hot off the presses. Breaking news. Go. Says the SEC has officially closed with no action its multi-year investigation into Uniswap Labs. Last year, the SEC issued a Wells notice claiming that Uniswap Labs operated an unregistered securities exchange, engaged in unregistered broker or clearing firm activity, or issued an unregistered security. The SEC's decision this week reaffirms what we've always known. Uniswap Labs operates in full compliance with all applicable laws. The technology we build makes markets more transparent, efficient, and accessible. Then it says, the future of finance is decentralized. Now America can lead.
Nice.
Why America? Okay, so
yeah.
The SEC is American.
Uniswap is based in Wall Street. It's based in New York.
Oh, I guess I didn't know that. Says DeFi is shaping financial markets for the better, allowing users to trade instantly, safely, and transparently without having to give up custody or control over their assets. At Uniswap Labs, we're proud to expand access to DeFi by developing technology that promotes liquidity and price transparency, reduces reliance on intermediaries, and lowers transaction costs. Products we build serve users and strengthens the financial system as a whole. We appreciate that the SEC's new leadership is taking a close look at the pending enforcement investigations and litigations across our country, not just our own, and has recognized that there is a more effective path to protecting American consumers. The conclusion of our investigation is not only welcome and just relief for Uniswap Labs, but also for the broader DeFi community of builders, users, and developers working toward a better financial system for all of us. We have always welcomed dialogue with regulators and policymakers on developing clear, sensible laws and rules for new technology like DeFi. We look forward to productive conversations about our industry's future in the weeks and months to come.
That's awesome. Uniswap is the OG. Uniswap is the OG in DeFi DEX infrastructure, and they also have a war chest, as in like a treasury balance that they've been building since the implementation, like since they first launched. So there's like a way that it earns some form of fees from some of the bigger pairs, and I think they're worth like $15 to $17 million or something in their treasury. There was recently a vote. So Uniswap token is a governance token. So the governance holders, like the Uniswap token holders, voted recently, again, recently being in the last like 6 months, to distribute that treasury to the token holders. Basically, create a staking contract that pays out the millions of dollars in liquidity fees that Uniswap has earned over the last like decade to people who hold Uniswap token. It's approved through the initial voting structure on the DAO, but hasn't really like been built out in any like meaningful way or reported on. But that's something to keep keep in mind. That is more of like an insider kind of a thing, I suppose. I mean, the DAO itself is obviously on chain, and therefore those votes are transparent. But not a lot of people participate in that kind of shit. Mostly because it does require Ethereum mainnet Uniswap tokens and mainnet signatures to vote with them, and it's tricky, to convince people to do that unless they already have a huge stake in Uniswap. But either way, I'm really excited to hear Uniswap is no longer being pestered by the SEC as having launched unregistered securities. Total fucking nonsense. They don't sell anything. They just facilitate the transactions of crypto assets. They're not themselves offering anything. So that was from the beginning, I thought, an insane thing to give them a wellness notice in the beginning. And I was always kind of irritated with the United States' legal kind of crackdown on people who all they're doing is creating and writing open source code. And so whatever the SEC thought was happening there and being criminalized is absurd. And so it's nice to see them dismiss it as absurd. And I agree, it is a just resolution to this. But yeah, I want to see more about what Burst is into here and what proof of liquidity is. So apparently this is an Ethereum compatible layer 1 blockchain that's within the Arbitrum ecosystem, but it runs with proof of liquidity, which is different from what we're familiar with, which is proof of work or proof of stake. But let's see really quick. I'm curious what this says here. Proof of liquidity radically changes the way layer 1 economics are structured, prioritizing users and applications over validator rewards at baseline. Okay, that's not a bad idea. In traditional layer 1 ecosystems, the validators have a shit ton of influence over the way that that a blockchain is developed.
I mean,
which
Wax is the perfect example of that. The blockchain producers are basically the developers of most of the products because they're being paid for it, and they developed a bunch of bullshit and kind of are partially why Wax failed.
Yeah, so that's an interesting approach here, especially prioritizing users. I like that, and applications over validators. So as someone with, like I said, I'm looking for places to put stablecoin liquidity, for example. I don't really get a say in how the networks that I'm using are developing. I just use their ecosystems because they're paying the best yield. And the biggest one I'm doing with that 26% on Hydra, I do own quite a bit of those voting shares. Lewis does too, but we bought that shit before that project even launched. We bought that stuff in
it was pretty sketchy how we got into it.
Yeah, it was like a 24-hour window for a liquidity bootstrap event. It was basically like an IPO that was like, here's a contract address, send DAI stablecoin here.
I mean, that's literally how you get scammed on other blockchains. Send shit to this address, and we'll definitely send you these new tokens back. Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, getting back to this though. I like this. I don't understand it yet, but I do like the premise here being economics that are structured to prioritize users and applications over validator rewards. Network incentives go towards enriching ecosystem liquidity, contributing to efficient trading, price stability, securing the chain, and increasing network/user growth. Okay. I mean, again, great concept. I want to know how it works. Proof of liquidity strongly aligns with the incentives of network participants, validators, protocols, users, and contributes to the overall long-term health of the chain. Beyond providing seamless day one utility, the native dApps, such as DEX, which I imagine is a DEX but BERA exchange, right, serves as reference implementations of how developers can build on top of the proof of liquidity. Okay.
Why don't you click
read more? I was gonna say I need to know more about this. Let's see. Proof of liquidity is a novel economic mechanism that uses network incentives to align the interests of economy system participants and bolster both applicant layer and chain security. Okay, let's see. 2-token model. Bear Chain's consensus borrows from the proof of stake. Okay, cool. We're familiar with that model and contains 2 key components. Bear tokens, which is validators secured the chain by staking the native gas token. Okay, so Bear token is a native gas token and it is required by validators to stake, it sounds like. And then BGT is a soul-bound governance token distributed by validators for proposing new blocks, which is ultimately rewarded to users who provide ecosystem liquidity.
Soulbound is just Ethereum lingo for non-tradable token.
Yeah, non-transferable. Yeah. Okay, let me read this. A validator's BGT emissions increase with the amount of BGT delegated to them. Okay. Protocol provided incentives are received for these emissions, and validators pass these to their delegators after collecting a commission. Huh. The model creates a meaningful economic alignment between previously isolated groups. Validators who return the maximum value for their BGT delegators are likely to receive more delegations. That makes sense. Okay, so I assume like if I show up here and I supply liquidity to a DEX, for example, it sounds like that activity would get my wallet some of this BGT, which is not something I can sell, but something I can then delegate to a validator. And apparently the delegation of that, let's see, delegate to them, are received. Okay, and then the delegation receives incentives. So then I guess
this thing on my screen so people can see it better.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's see. Significant.
It starts out as, I think the bear thing is this is the validator. So they stake a gas token. Validator node.
Yeah.
More BERA staked equals higher probability of proposing block. Then
okay. And block proposing is what gets you the transaction fees and stuff from the block, obviously, or winning a block. I assume is the same as like proof of stake.
That directs reward emissions. The rewards vault staking token, and that's where the user comes in. The user takes proof of liquidity approved action. So I guess you're staking in a rewards vault or for the rewards. I don't know exactly. I don't know exactly if that's supposed to be people and this is supposed to be validators. But then it says once it goes to the rewards vault, distributes governance token proportional to percent staked in a reward vault, and that goes to governance token holders, delegators, governance token, increasing reward emission. Honestly, this is a little above my head. Like I see this, I'm reading it, but this doesn't like click for me.
Yeah, I need to dig a little deeper into this too. And so I do understand the fact that, so it says also significantly proof of liquidity separates the token responsible for gas and security from the token used for governance and chain rewards to the economic incentives. So it's like a different token for the rewards versus the gas, which I get.
Yeah,
the rewards token is the BGT token.
Gas is the BERA.
Yeah.
And then the governance is the...
Yeah. Let's see.
I flip back to
stake. Yeah, let's see. I think read more into proof of liquidity overview. I want a little more info on this still. So I'm going deeper. Proof of liquidity is an extension of proof of stake. Okay. That realigns economic incentives among validators, applications, and users. This is enabled through the 2-token model, a token responsible for chain security, BERA, and a token responsible for governance and rewards, BGT. So the security layer, Bear Chain's active set of validators participating in consensus. So obviously, if we're going to compare that to Wax, that'd be like the top 24 or 22 or whatever, the ones that are active, is determined by validators' BERA stake with a minimum of 250,000 BERA and a maximum cap of 10 million. The top amount of validators, top N validators, so N is the valuable for any number, ranked by stake are in the active set. With the active set, a validator probability of proposing a block is proportional to their stake. More BERA staked increases the likelihood of proposing a block. Okay. That all adds up. That sounds like proof of stake, like delegated proof of stake, basically. Reward layer, BGT. The size of a validator's BGT block reward is determined by their boost, which is a percentage calculated from the validator's BGT boost divided by the total BGT boosted to all validators. Boosts are obtained when BGT holders delegate to validators. Oh, okay. So I guess a validator can buy and participate in validation using the BERA token, and they can do that with millions, up to 10 million as an individual validator. But they can't buy the BGT tokens. Those are distributed based on, I guess, their stake, but also based on participation in on-chain activity like liquidity and stuff. And that's why you would need users who are generating those BGT rewards to then delegate those rewards to you as a validator to then get a bigger boost share, so that when you find a block, you have the biggest possible payout for yourself and your delegates.
I know
because
it's not
I guess that is how
exactly the same,
okay.
because it's
Interesting.
more based on block production than it is on like DeFi, but it sounds a little similar to like aerodrome and bribing and stuff.
Yeah, a little bit, right? It is like,
because like if you vote for the person that's giving you the most back, then you get more back. Like so like the incentive to vote for the blockchain producer is like going to attract the users to then give them the governance.
Yeah, it seems like it would be also like a way for users to then like penalize block producers who are doing things they don't agree with, where it's like, well, I'll just delegate to someone else and then you won't get as much boost for yourself or anyone else on your who's delegating to you, and that would maybe incentivize those people to also like just chase the higher boost, as the way I said it. Let's see, validator life cycle. The journey begins when a prospective validator stakes their BERA as a security bond. Validators are chosen to produce blocks with a probability proportional to their stake amount. For each block proposed, the validator receives both a base emission and a variable reward emission based on their boost percentage. Gotcha. Let's see emissions. Okay, let's see the emissions. I thought this would just be a chart, but let's not dive into a whole nother thing. Reward distribution. After collecting the base BGT rewards for themselves, validators direct the remaining variable BGT rewards to whitelisted reward vaults of their choosing. In exchange for directing their missions, validators receive protocol-provided incentives from reward vaults. The BGT is earned by users supplying liquidity to the protocol. Okay. Interesting. Liquidity provider flow. The ecosystem's liquidity providers, i.e. users, play a crucial role in protocol in proof of liquidity. Users can provide liquidity to protocols like BEX, then receive a recipient token as proof of their contributions. These recipient tokens are then staked into receipt tokens. Receipt tokens. So this is similar to how you would supply liquidity to like what is it called, Beefy or something, where you get Moo tokens, or the early days on Wax where you would get like or I guess on Taco Swap, how you get like those Taco Swap tokens that represent your liquidity. But then you stake those. Let's see. These receipt tokens are then staked in the reward vaults where users earn BGT proportional to their share of the vault. Okay.
That'd be similar to like
I see.
How like DeFi box give you tokens, and for like our planet you would take the liquidity token and stake it to our planet for like their governance token.
Yes. Yeah, exactly. Or if you want to take this to like Wax terms in general, this would be similar to like taking Wax E and ETH liquidity in Uniswap, getting the receipt token from that and staking that into the distribution contract. to earn Wax G tokens, which
no longer
if
exist.
You're unfamiliar with that, yeah, don't worry about it. Yeah. Let's see, delegation cycles. So basically you put your liquidity, doesn't matter what assets you're supplying, the receipt for the liquidity is what earns you BGT. And the BGT comes from vaults, and the vaults are topped up by the validators, it sounds like. Because validators are the ones who take, like it said over here, in exchange for directing their missions. Or no, here it says, after collecting the base rewards for themselves, the validators direct the remaining BGT rewards to whitelisted reward vaults. So the validators decide which vaults to incentivize, and then the users fill those vaults to earn the BGT, which lets the validators have the voting power over what to incentivize, I suppose. As BGT holders accumulate tokens, they can delegate them to validators, directly influencing the validator's boost. That creates a virtuous cycle where higher delegation leads to increased validator boost, resulting in larger BGT emissions. When the validator proposes blocks, validators are incentivized to share their received protocol incentives with delegators to attract more boosts, fostering a collaborative ecosystem.
That's what I was sort of saying, where it's like BERA, where like I don't know
Yeah.
exactly how it works, but it seems like they can choose what they're sharing with and how much compared to what they're taking. And if they share a higher percentage, then they're more likely to get more people to jump in.
Yeah, and then ecosystem alignment. This is, I think, specific to the Bear chains, the DEX, I think. Oh no, this is just the Bear chains core docs, so never mind. But it says by integrating Bear chain's native network rewards among all ecosystem participants, proof of liquidity creates alignments between validators who need BGT delegation to maximize their block rewards and must effectively direct emissions to reward vaults to earn incentives and attract more boosts. Protocols can compete for the BGT emissions by offering attractive incentive rates in their reward vaults. And then users who earn BGT by providing liquidity, then delegating to various to validators to maximize returns. Now, with all that in mind, I want to look back at these vaults really quick. So now that we know what the hell they're talking about, as a user, I could come to this chain. I could then go to these vaults, and then this is why I guess it matters that these vaults are white listed. And now I understand what the hell is going on here. So if I had supplied, let's say, Bitcoin and wrapped BERA tokens, I could make 19% on this liquidity as a reward, like from the actual DEX. But on top of that, I'm earning 115% APR paid in this soul-bound voting share. Here, the BGT APR. So if I say, put $1,000 into this pool, then I should end up with, like 100% APR on $1,000 worth of BGT. I'm not 100% sure how they would value BGT if it's non-transferable, so there isn't a market for it. So I'm not sure how they actually
Incentive
give it
for staking
a
it because
dollar value.
you earn BERA for staking it,
Yes.
right?
I think yes. Yeah. You earn BERA for staking it, or BERA and any other rewards that are distributed by the let's see, by this guy. Because liquidity providers, let's see one more time. I do think you get BERA for staking it. The ecosystem liquidity providers, so us, we play the role here. We provide liquidity to protocols like this one and receive a receipt token, and then we stake that into the whitelisted reward vaults where we earn BGT. Okay, so yeah, I guess we just earn BGT from the BGT side, and then of course it's the protocol itself. So the what's this one called? I forget what do they call this? Bear chain. This is just called Bear chain. Bear Hub. So Bear Hub is paying. So then basically, Bear Hub has the incentive to create pools in its whitelisted pools here. So if we go to the vaults again, their incentive to keep this APR here for my actual liquidity high, and to make sure that the pools themselves are pools that have assets that, first of all, are in demand and that I want to participate in. So, the fact that they're doing like USDC and Honey isn't bad, and but then I'd say APR isn't high enough for me to jump. I mean, I can make for stablecoins 26%, so why risk it with a non-stable coin for less of a percent? But then we see like these 100% somethings. Oh, is it? Okay. So, I mean, I still do better than this.
Honey is BERA Chain's native stablecoin designed to provide a stable and reliable means of exchange within the BERA Chain ecosystem and beyond. Honey is fully collateralized and soft pegged to the US dollar.
Okay, great. Well, that's
in
that's cool.
the BERA Chain core docs too if you go under tokens.
Oh, yeah. Here's the tokens.
Yours looks so much uglier than mine. Honey. I have dark reader.
Mine, Okay, so Honey is like a over collateralized like debt token. So similar to CRV USD, like Curve US dollars or Forex. This model works really well as long as the whitelisted vaults that you're using to mint the token aren't made up of shitcoins, which is what happened to Terra Luna, if we all remember that. But that's interesting. So it does seem like I have a better grasp on what's going on here. So this is an ecosystem. The main thing I'm still not super familiar with is, like, let's say I do put my liquidity into this pool. I make 100% APR in BGT. I'm not sure where do I go to stake the BGT. Like here, okay, validators. Maybe it's here. Oh, I guess since this is so new, this is probably still not set up yet. But it does look like there are validators here. You can see how much their current boost is, how much they have staked. So these guys are all at 10 million
max.
Yeah, and then you can see what their emissions are. So it does look like this person's paying the best, and I wonder if I can then stake to them. Your boost. You have no boost.
BGT okay. Governance. BGT is used to vote on governance proposals. BGT holders are responsible for a wide variety of ecosystem decisions. There's an entire governance section, which we haven't gone over yet, but we'll go over that later.
Let's take a look.
BGT holders can either vote on proposals themselves or delegate their voting power to another address. This governance delegation operates independently of boosting validators controlling their BGT emissions. There's a video here, should I?
Interesting. Yeah, switch it. Let's see this video. I'll jump over and
look at my nice dark reader.
Ooh. That is nicer than mine. All right.
Okay, so you click governance.
Governance.
What?
Total voting power.
This boonnet.
It's the same one. It's the hub. Yeah, it's the same hub.
This is voting power, 16.27K BGT, then unassigned, 197. Then you can delegate it.
This guy's
self or someone else. That's cool. You could delegate sort of like in Wax, where you can delegate to people picking other blockchain producers.
Oh, I see. And then now if you're on yourself, now you'd vote for the stuff yourself. But you're not staking, so you're not getting any boost from this. So you may be better off delegating.
And then the earn. This is probably what you were looking for. Boosting validation incentives. Users can select a boost with their BGT, increasing the validator's reward emission. The amount of incentives earned is determined by validators' aggregate boost. These incentives are returned to the BGT holders who boosted the validator. So this is on boonet.hub.berachain.com, and then you click validators.
Mm-hmm.
I think you were kind of already there. And if you click on it...
Yeah. See, if you actually have some, then you can boost them.
That gives you... Here we go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think it's up. Queued. So there's that many blocks remaining until it's queued. But if you look here, this page tells you your boost. Pause. Boost APY and then your return per BGT of how much. Is that honey or BERA? I'm not sure.
Honey? Oh, I think that's honey. Yeah, that's cool. So you get a stable coin.
Well, it might
that.
be
That's
depending
fun.
on the validator too. I don't know.
It's definitely an interesting ecosystem.
Yeah, set the reward vaults. That's what's like BGT per proposal. So maybe like they can choose what to reward people. I'm not 100% sure, but like that's where you would do it. Is after you stake it, then it tells you what you're earning.
Yeah. Interesting.
Let me continue reading this.
Yeah.
DApp fees. Decentralized application.
Yeah.
Users who are boosting validators with their BGT earn a share of BERA core DApp fees, namely fees from BEX and HoneySwap. This is done via the fee collector contract. At a high level, fee collector auctions fees collected from dApps for wrapped BERA and then distributes them pro rata to BGT holders who have boosted validators. I don't know what pro rata means.
Like based on how much you've contributed during the time that it was took to like accumulate that reward. Like you can't suddenly, if there's like an unpaid out reward, you can't stake at the last minute and get like a huger cut of it. Is what that means.
And then here we go.
Like
Here's
it
another
takes
thing that
into
might be interesting
account the
too.
time you're in it.
Burning for BERA. BGT can be burned 1-to-1 for BERA. This is a one-way function. BERA cannot be converted into BGT. This limits the ability to earn the chain's economic incentives solely to BGT. So if you want to get out of it, and you're like, I'm done with this, I don't want to vote and wait for this like trip, I can just liquidate my BGT and then sell my BERA for whatever. Kind of cool.
Interesting. That is cool.
Swap. Redeem. So yeah, you can redeem your BGT for BERA. But is it irreversible? So you're losing your governance if you do that. If you are interested in participating in governance, you don't want to do that.
That's interesting. I would say the move is probably to delegate, because that seems to be like it's on autopilot and earning you something. But that's really cool. I'm definitely kind of coming back around on this. Although I still think like the main thing that draws at least me to move my money to a different chain is incentive rewards. I need more incentive. Like what's it called? Like Airdrome is paying too well.
Governance over. BERA chain governance. BERA chain's decentralized governance system empowers BGT token holders to make important decisions on core functions of proof of liquidity and other core dApps. Here are a few examples of what governance can be used for. Reward vault whitelisting. Example, new staking assets, whitelisting incentive assets. Native dApp governance. Example, changes to BEX protocol fees. Governance lifecycle. BERA chain's governance process is derived from OpenZeppelin's governance contracts, which prescribes a multi-step governance lifecycle. One thing I'll say, just to kind of side note, is I like how detailed all of this is. Like, as someone who's been reading whitelist for a while, there's a lot of like trust me bro shit going on in whitelist on projects, like especially like on Wax, when we'd be like red flag, like so much stuff. Like this is all very detailed to the point where they're telling you what contracts you're using, clicking a link where you can go look at the contracts. So like, I don't know, it looks very like open source and vetted, and like, what do you want to see?
Very not cesspool.
Very little trust me bro going on in this. I like this project, seems cool. I also like I've never heard of proof of liquidity, and just like trying new things is interesting. So I'm into that as just like on a conceptual level.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how to move like money in or out of it.
That was one of the things. How to swap, how to get BERA. Bridging, you can bridge.
Yeah, I thought so. Let's see, there's like a bridge.
Ethereum. You can get Ethereum from
token bridge
to BERA chain. When you see the bridge, users have the option to exchange tokens for a small amount of BERA at their destination. So you can use that as gas.
That's nice.
Something
I
honestly
love that on Hydra, where it's like you can just flip a switch and be like, use this token as gas asset.
Like,
So it's like
amazing
even
it's taking
I
them
don't
that
need
long to
anything.
figure that out, since that's a problem with like every bridge.
It works so fucking well on hydration that I'm like, I moved only my stable coins over to farm that stuff, and I mean now I have a bunch of Hydra, but I didn't have any when I first moved. I just moved only stable coins and was able to like put them in the farm and pay all the fees with just my stable coin position.
All right, let me keep reading this governance shit. Governance lifecycle. BERA governance process is derived from. Okay, we kind of already read that. Open Zeppelin's governance contracts, which prescribes a multi-step governance lifecycle. Proposal created 1 hour delay, voting period 5 days. Active. If it's defeated, then voting ends and it's just done. If it's succeeded, then it moves to time lock for 2 days, queued, and then it's either vetoed by a guardian or executed. So it does sound like there's whatever a guardian is there's there's someone that can block a public proposal. So this isn't totally decentralized.
Yeah.
Which honestly is a good thing. I mean, we've talked about it. Total decentralization just almost always leads to people exploiting governance, like what we saw in Alien Worlds and stuff. Like, letting it 100% up to the users is whoever comes in with the most money is just going to steal everything. Like, that's how that goes down every time.
Yep.
If you let anybody
Every
with money
time.
vote. So I don't hate that, but then you're also at the mercy of, like, will the Guardians start voting down like fair shit, and then it's a double-edged sword. There's good and bad. If you trust the Guardians, then you're good. But if the Guardians become corrupt in some way, then you might have issues. Although technically, like, they wouldn't be able to just pass stuff. You'd still have to publicly vote, and then they'd be able to. They could just start denying stuff that should be passed. I pretty much just read this.
True.
It's like the proposal cycle. I think we got that. Guardian oversight.
Yeah, I get this.
During the time lock period, BERA Guardian system provides an additional layer of security. Guardians can cancel malicious proposals during the time lock period, e.g. hostile takeover, unauthorized code changes to protect BERA ecosystem. Guardians act through a 5 of 9 multi-sig with the elected signers.
Okay.
This is how to create a governance proposal. I don't know that we need to learn that. I don't know anybody here is trying to propose governance stuff at the moment. Let's go to Reward Vault governance. While creating a reward vault is permissionless, they must be whitelisted through governance proposals to receive BGT emissions from validators. This process ensures community oversight and alignment over projects joining the proof of liquidity ecosystem. This looks like just telling you how to request a reward vault, which, unless you're a project owner launching a token on BERA chain, this is not relevant to you. But if that is you, maybe check out this.
Yeah.
Flying through this, let's go to the native deck. BERA Hub. So that's what we've kind of been looking through.
Yeah, that one seems like it's more involved than just a normal DEX. It has like all that like delegation stuff built into it.
On BERA Hub, you can review active reward vaults, validators, boost, redeem, claim, swap assets, provide BEX liquidity, and participate in governance. I think BERA Hub is connected to BEX. BERA chain DEX. Allows the trading of any arbitrary pair of crypto assets via swapping and providing liquidity. Reward allocation. Each validator can customize how the rewards are distributed across different reward vaults. No custom allocation is set. Default reward allocations are used, benefiting key BEX liquidity. Default allocation is as follows. Weighted. BERA Honey, 50-50 weights, 35% allocation, 0.3% fee. With Wrapped ETH BERA, 25% allocation. Wrapped Bitcoin, 25%. USDC Honey is 7.5%. And Buy USD Honey is 7.5%. So I guess that's like what you were looking at.
Yeah.
When you're like, oh, you're earning a stable coin for staking that. Maybe you earn all of these. Is that what am I understanding that correctly?
I think
like that's the percentage of the
be.
reward allocation for staking. And you get 35 Honey, 25% Wrapped ETH, 25% Wrapped Bitcoin, 7.5%. That doesn't make sense though, because why would wouldn't be getting honey twice. Maybe the USDC what you'd be getting. I don't totally understand this. I was thinking maybe it was like a thing on Harmony that we used to like before Harmony sucked, where you could stake the native token and then you ended up getting like a bunch of different like chip tokens.
Yeah, Tranquil. I like that a lot too.
I don't understand if that's what this is. But it says default reward allocation, so that sounds like how the rewards are distributed. But maybe that's, I think what this means, I think I'm understanding now, is you're not getting all of those, but they are giving you rewards, and these are the pools they're paying them out to.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I think that's what it is.
But I thought you got BGT for going to those, so I'm a little confused.
You get both, I think. Like the DEX, I think the DEX is trying to get people to join the pools, and then the people join the pools for both like those rewards.
Honey Swap is the other one listed here. It sounds like this is exclusively to swap for the stablecoin. You're backing. This is like creating new honey, like minting honey. Sounds like.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think we pretty much went through this.
That's really cool.
Yeah. Cool stuff. I like the concept. I also like people trying new things. I feel like just launching like the 25th Ether layer 2 thing where they're all exactly the same. We're like, yeah, but this one has a DEX that has one new feature. Is like, I don't know if that's like worth doing. You're just attracting liquidity short term, and then the second the rewards go, it fucks off. There's not really like innovation happening. And this, I can't say it's the first, but it's the first I've seen that has like proof of liquidity where it seems like users have more control. Also could go horribly wrong, because I mean that's the risk of trying something new, is like copying something that already kind of works. Although I'd kind of argue like most cases DeFi doesn't work. Like just copying Uniswap and throwing it on a new chain and expecting it to be better than Uniswap doesn't really work. Like there's examples of it working obviously on some chains, but even then, like we're in such like a small, like it's easy to get sucked into all this stuff. Like the window of how long all this stuff has existed, like layer 2 DeFi has not been a thing for 10 years. Like it's like just say this stuff works long term. It's like, we don't know that yet. Like we won't know until time has passed. And it's the hindsight is 2020 thing where what does work, you'll be too late to have invested in early if you don't get into it now. But there's also going to be a shit ton of stuff failing. So you can, as we've seen on all the NFT games and stuff we've invested into that went to zero, like, or even like Viper Swap is one of my favorite examples of like Viper Swap didn't do anything wrong. Viper Swap like was a great platform. It worked, like cool shit, and then it just like they're just like it's like
they rug,
just not sustainable. It just didn't work, and that's the model that like a lot of new DeFi shit is using still. So like from us having been in it for years, like just people being like, yeah, like here's the same thing that's Uniswap's doing, just on a new chain. It's like, not even Uniswap, but Uniswap. I guess Viper Swap was kind of the same way, right? The Viper token was governance.
Yeah.
Just nobody gave a shit about the governance, so like.
Yeah. Also, the governance had a lot less like alignment with the incentive distribution stuff. Like this is totally different from that, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just cool.
I feel like something that I haven't seen that I think is a really cool pull here by this is launching a layer 1 chain with native stablecoins. Like having a native stablecoin, I think is like that would have been huge for Wax in the early days. Like there still isn't native stablecoins on Wax, you know?
Yeah. I think it's definitely cool. I also like that like anybody can just go mint more. That definitely is like worries me a little bit. Depends on like what you can back with. It doesn't really seem like there are shit coins on the blockchain yet. Like most of the stuff listed there is like wrapped Ethereum, wrapped Bitcoin, like pretty heavy hitters, but I'm sure it will be. I think Burr said it's only been around for like 2 weeks, so this is all very new. Will be interesting to follow the development. I might just for shits and gigs move like some Wax over there.
That's kind of what I'm thinking too. Like follow Burst out of the cesspool a little bit. I got 10,000 Wax chilling here that I'm like, I don't know. I don't want to like stake it. Nothing's like calling me right now. I might move it over here and try to earn some governance shares. It looks like the main thing that you can use to mint honey is USDC.
Which that's perfect.
Yeah.
USDC loses
like
peg. We got a lot more issues in the crypto than
it's
new
like
chain.
USDC. It looks like and then I like that it's also like here's the collateral asset vaults. Here's where the collateral is and everything. You can like look it all up.
Screen around my screen right now.
Ooh, there's even a depeg plan. It says when any collateral asset depegs, basket mode automatically activates. In this mode, users can't choose which asset to redeem their honey for. Instead, they redeem for a proportion of share of all collateral assets in the basket. Okay. Interesting.
It seems like a very well thought out thing. Like,
yeah, but here you can see the what was it here? Minting honey collateral asset is USDC, and then buy USD, which is both of these are like USD stablecoins. I'm not 100% familiar with this one, but it also says new assets can be added through governance. But I don't hate this. PYUSD. Oh, I see. Yeah, I don't know. This is cool. I would say the next big thing to look for then is like where is like a block proposal rate? Where is the like which vault would you want to be in? And I think the thing is I'd want to earn some of this BGT stuff.
also,
and I'd say
I guess if people are trying to get into this, but I think the best way would be to where's the bridge coming from? ETH mainnet or?
It looks like the bridge can come from any of the Arbitrum, Aurora, Avalanche
What about
Base.
Solana? Is Solana on there?
No, Solana. It looks like it's all
say
virtual. It's all the EVM.
If it was Solana, I would say we got USDC straight up on Solana Wax, but I think my recommendation would be move it into Woof, move Woof over to Base, and then
that's probably
from
what
Base trade that for USDC, and then move that into.
Here, I guess I can just do that because I'm curious to do this.
But the thing I guess you need to be aware of is you need Ethereum on Base to do anything on Base. So you can't just try, like, if you have a brand new Ethereum address and you just send Woof to it, your Woof's going to get stuck. So, like,
that's true.
You've never used Base before. This is going to be a multi-process. And then, like, the thing is, you can get Ethereum on Base through like Change Now or whatever, but you do need to spend like $20-$30. Like, it can't be a nothing burger amount of money. Like, it has to be. You end up having to move like a decent amount of money to make this work.
Yeah. Hit me up in Discord if you really want to do this. There's enough people watching the stream right now that anyone who's live, I'll pay your gas fees.
It is very cheap to do gas stuff on Base. Cheap.
But here, let's see. I'll walk through it right now and see how it goes. Right. Let me make sure this is cancel that. Okay, so I'm gonna start by connecting my wallet.
I will say another cool thing about this is being this early. It really just launched 2 weeks ago. Like, that means there's not a lot of governance stuff out there. So you're kind of like, you're in early, you're a founder. And if it does become more lucrative, and like, I don't know, like how the rates will go, it could get worse too. But that's always just fun. I feel like finding out about stuff when it's just happening.
I agree. And
shout out to Burst for hipping us to this.
It's interesting enough that I'm like, this, you know what? This is different. This is way up my alley. I like this kind of shit. So let's do it. Plus, like I said, I think I have some, here, 10,000 wax. So let's do that. Let's start with swapping the wax. It's $200. So that's perfect. That's a nice amount to play with. Let's do, I don't want to sign into my wallet. I'm just going to do it here. I'm lazy. But I'm going to swap this for Woof. First step.
I'm going to really quickly do a giveaway.
Okay. I guess if you're doing that, then I guess I will see if I can get a better deal on Wax on Edge.
Yeah, just get out. Here comes our giveaway. BERA chain.
I'll probably go into the pool that's like honey and BERA.
Yeah, that seems legit. BERA definitely
Plus
seems like
paying.
a little riskier since it's a gas token. But I mean, honey is going to be worth $1 unless USDC depegs.
Right,
moment,
which I'm like,
I'll add more, but
I'll be okay with that.
USDC depegs, I have a lot bigger issues than my
with
couple
USDC
$100 on
depegs.
BERA.
I'm fucked. I got like at least $55,000 in USDC. I'd be like, I'm never gonna financially recover from this. I'd have to go get a job.
I do believe in USDC more than any other stablecoin, but like a pretty large margin there. Our final two.
It was a better deal on Alcor. It's getting kind of sad how like even trading 10,000 wax at a time is getting like to be a struggle for some of these apps.
Brother Invest. I believe this user did not send me a Wax wallet. I'm not sure if you're even on Wax. He might be just someone who is watching from the crypto category. So let us know if you have a Wax wallet, and if not, if you want to sign up for one. But let me, unless you're on here, but I don't recognize you.
All right, I'm moving to the next step, the bridge step.
But I'm not sure if this person's even watching anymore. I will also send you a million woof if you do respond, but if not, I'm going to send a million woof just for now to Cone Dog.
Wax token bridge.
Then I'm going to switch back to Max's screen and open a new form. So if anybody wants to enter this next giveaway, not yet.
Yeah, check not yet, but check my screen and I will show you how to move
Exclamation point neon
through this bridge.
Yeah, we got a new form open and Max's from the unsupported blockchain.
Excuse me. Okay, this is the I got here, by the way, by clicking bridge up here on Alcor and then going to the Wax token bridge. This opens it in a new separate window. Now I'm going to say I want to move from Wax to Base. And it's going to want to connect to my wallet. I'm going to say connect. And let's see. Next step. Is that the right wallet? Let me double check my address here. 84C2. Yeah. Okay. Then I can say start bridging. So you got to connect all your different wallets, but for some reason it's going to be a little janky. But here we go. From Wax to Base. 1.1 billion woof. What is this? What does that mean? Daily limit. There's a limit? Oh, look, 500 million. You can only bridge 500 million woofs today. I didn't know that. Okay, well, I'll do 500 million. Let's launch my wallet. Yield farming, 500 million wood to bridge.wax. I'm signing this transaction. Success. ID. Okay. Next, I need to go to, I guess, history. Let's see. History. Here's all the, I guess, claims is probably where it'll be now, right? Yeah, there it is. 500,000. Might take a second to claim. Okay, so I have to wait. But now I have to come back. The next thing I want to do is I want to swap woof. And I don't want to do it, I think, on a specific DEX. I want to do it on an aggregator. So I'm going to use DYDX. Or ODOS, sorry. Some rewards waiting for me there. But here on base chain, let's go to trade, and I want to trade woof. And it doesn't have my, so I'm gonna have to import that as a specific token. So first, I guess I need to claim this. So let's give this a second. I'm gonna refresh this here. Still waiting. I can go check out the transaction hash at least. Let's see what's going on there. This is on Wax blocks. So probably gotta wait for this to like settle. Once this is claimable, I'll be able to, claim it into my base wallet. Did you know there was a limit? Oh, you can only do 500 million woof on a bridge in a day?
I did not.
I mean, I feel like I could just send it from a different wallet to another different wallet and then have
true.
it, but still, like, that's a weird. I didn't know there was a limit.
Also, just change now at that point.
Right? Let's see. I guess let me check the remainder of my. If I did this back to Wax. That gives me, come on, think. 55. And let's see how much that's worth. 165 at least here. And let's go change now. And let's see if I can do Wax P into, I want ETH on base. Amount calculation unsuccessful, whatever. Maybe into USDC. Also on base.
Can you send it to BERA chain directly? Probably not. It's probably too near.
Yeah, probably not. Well, Wax, what's this called? Change now is saying amount calculation unsuccessful. So let me see.
Simple swap.
Simple swap. There's always options. You can log in and create accounts and stuff here. I just never do.
I do think they have some sort of a raid. For the raid quadrille, we are currently trying to move Wax from the Wax chain into the BERA chain. What's it called, right? BERA.
Whoa. Okay. Well, the minimum amount here is 33,000 Wax, so can't do that with my 5,000.
A lot.
Yeah,
let me go to my screen.
Let's see if we can do.
One, we have a giveaway going. !neon in your Wax wallet if you'd like to join. And we just checked out BERA Hub, which is like a new layer 1 blockchain built off of Arbitrum. It has kind of a cool proof of liquidity instead of proof of stake or proof of work.
Yeah.
So providing liquidity is kind of what runs the chain. So Max is trying to move Wax over there to provide liquidity and start earning the governance rewards. We just talked about it for like an hour, so if you want to learn about it after this, which we're going to be ending pretty soon, there'll be a video on demand up, and then you can watch that instead of us trying to re-explain a pretty complex thing that we hardly understand.
Let's see. USDC. It looks like moving it to like Arbitrum is going to be way cheaper. Yeah, that lets me do it. Okay, I'll move those to Arbitrum and we'll swap from both chains. Fuck it, right?
Yeah, proof of liquidity is kind of cool. Basically, like, you have more say over the network as somebody provides liquidity instead of just letting the blockchain producers run everything. You kind of hold them accountable. And also, like, the governance proposals are voted on by the users, not just blockchain producers. I feel like that's kind of the thing where, like, cool. Wax is very not decentralized. Is like Wax is like a republic. It's like democracy in America, where you elect officials, then those officials kind of have say over everything. Sort of what ends up happening. Except actually, Wax is even worse because like the blockchain producers elect the officials, and then the officials have say over everything, and their say is over what the blockchain producers are doing. So there's definitely conflict of interest there where this new system, I don't know how well it's going to work. Like, I guess the chain's been around for like 2 weeks, or the token's been around for like 2 weeks. So it's kind of brand new. And Max is kind of just jumping in to test the waters. Burst of Energy hipped us to it earlier. Let me copy the link for BERA if anyone wants to check it out.
Yeah, once I get this some of these tokens over, then we'll be back over there in a second. Let's see, I need to move 5,550, I think, wax. There we go. Swap this back to wax. All right, so I guess we're going to get a quick overview here of multiple options to bridge from wax into other ecosystems. First of which was, the token bridge. Let me refresh here and see if it's finished. Oh, it is? Okay, I can claim these on base chain, but first let me finish my... I created a transaction here on SimpleSwap, 5,550 wax P for 160 USDC on ARB chain. So I need to now take the deposit address here, copy that, go back over to my wallet tab.
Ariel said he just tried his first AI NFT game. It seems ... We'll have to review it.
It seems
out at Friday or so. It was an experience. I'm sure it's trash. I didn't play it, know nothing about it, but a game made by AI with NFTs involved. Like, throw all the buzzwords at one wall and see what sticks.
Yeah. Here we go. This is the tag, this number right here. This is going to be your memo. So you're going to come and make sure you don't forget the memo when you're using a bridge. Like, actually, when you're using any bridge, don't forget the fucking memos. Because this wallet won't know who to send the counterpart of this stuff to if you don't have the right memo. Okay, and send.
Although I will say, I don't think AI in gaming inherently is bad. Like, using AI for maybe like dialogue creation or like, I don't know. It's not like AI has never been used ever in games. But like designing your game with AI, like having the AI create stuff, I think is not the way to get a quality product. Not its AI's current standing, at least. Maybe AI will, you can type in, hey, make me a game like Halo mixed with Counter-Strike, and it'll just code it all for you. It'll spit it out great, but yeah, I don't think AI has the ability to do that yet.
I'm not sure.
Or will ever necessarily, but
okay, I'm gonna claim these woof. Let's check it out. It's costing me 0.15 cents in ETH gas, so less than 0.2 pennies. Which isn't nothing. So if you have nothing and this is a brand new wallet for you, hit me up in Discord. I'll hook you up with, a penny or something. And then you'll have enough juice to do like 10 transactions. Either way, I've just claimed this. This is going to take a second. Then I can go over and, like I said, I'm going to open my wallet, which I don't think you can see on my screen. But I just want to go to the last transaction I just made. And then I want to pull the contract address from Wax, or from, what is it called? What is it called? Woof.
Woof woof.
From Woofy. Let's see. Okay, so if I go to history now, refresh, or claim tokens. Blockchain's base. Just taking its sweet time to send it to me, I guess. There it is. Okay, so if I go, let's go to the block explorer. Here it is. Woof sent to my wallet. And here's Woof. If I click this, I can see the contract is right here. Copy that contract address. Now I want to go over to odos.xyz. I'm on base chain. I want to trade. I'm going to say, oh, right. Okay, so I need to actually go to the advanced tab here. And then I want to trade and then say add custom token, paste that and say search, and it should find, there it is, woof. Add that token, and now it sees that I actually have 500 million of these, and now I should be able to, okay. It doesn't like when I click 100%. 5, let's see, 100 million. I guess I need to approve this first. So I'm going to approve woof to be spent by my wallet. It looks like I'm going to get about $120 for this. I'm not even sure what 500 million woof is worth, but I wonder how close that is so we can get a sense of how much
I
of
was
a
talking
price
about Pi
impact we're getting.
token too. I looked at
Oh,
that
Pi token?
last week.
That's the one where you had to like clicked on your phone for fucking. That's been around for a while. I always thought that was nonsense until
Up
now
to
everyone's like
$2.50 or $2.70. It's up 70% in the last day compared to the rest of the crypto market. That is pretty phenomenal.
Yeah. Yeah. It's proven everybody wrong who said it was nonsense.
I mean, it's been around since February.
Yeah.
I don't
So
think
here, look, you can.
6 days of data is enough to say that it's not eventually going to be not.
Nah, that's true. Here, look. So this exchange is also en route now, but this is going to my what's that called? Arbitrum wallet. And then I guess I want to see how close to $120 is 500 million woof worth. How did I do? So if I go to woof, I swear I clicked. This is chugging along here. 500 million. $127 it says. So I lost about $7 to doing that, but that's assuming you can make it perfectly. I think the better move would probably be to swap for USDC and then swap over to Solana, because then you can do 1-to-1.
This is
But
becoming such a crazy.
Let's see if it would have been 120 or yeah. Actually, no. I still did fine. Like I would have gotten about the same if I did that normal trade. So let's do this now. So now we're back at the hub that Lewis shared the link to in the chat here. This is the BERA chain. I'm going to come up here to explore, and then there is a token bridge. That opens a separate window. Oh, okay, and it wants me to VPN. So 1 second. I'm going to fire up a VPN here and do that a second time.
Allegedly.
So let's try that a second time.
We're allegedly using a VPN in case any legal administrations are watching this as evidence as we re-upload it.
Yeah, so this, now I'm able to get here no problem. I'm going to go to the base chain. I want to use, what did I just swap for? Oh, I haven't swapped for anything yet. So I want to go here and now to actually do the swap.
Holy
now
shit,
that I know
look at
this
that
isn't
trade route.
Yeah, here we go. So this is let's do this a second time. This is like wax on edge, but on steroids. This is a much more straightforward trade route right now, though.
Sometimes the gas fees get a little wonky when you do those crazy trade routes.
Yeah. So the gas fee for this one is going to be 0.56 cents. So a little over half a penny to do this trade. That's more expensive than the bridge earlier, but that's still all in. I've paid 63 cents for gas so far to do all this.
Not bad.
Transaction complete, and now I should be able to go back to this screen here, and yeah, there's my actual USDC. So I want to go max on this, and then here there's this option that we've already been made aware of in the comments earlier, but I definitely don't want to forget to do this. Get gas on destination. I'm going to say add. If I do 3, that's too much. Is 3 too much? 0.01? I don't know, give me 2. I don't know how much that is, but should be fine, right?
BERA.
Okay, and I'm coming from base
Let me
network.
check the BERA price right now. BERA.
Right, that's the like how much am I trying to buy for that?
BERA
If it's
is
cheap, I'll just do
$7
3.
each. $7.50.
Oh,
That's like
okay.
$15.
Okay, that's fine. $15 should be plenty to cover gas and stuff.
Also,
so I'm gonna say confirm.
Worth noting that BERA is in the last month. Let me just see all time. When did it launch? So it launched on February 6th at $1. Then it went up to $13.
Sheesh.
And then it dropped down to 7. Then it dropped down to the all-time low is $4.80. So it's $3 above the all-time low and about half the price of the all-time high. So there's not really enough data to say now is a good time to buy or not. I guess you would be better at chart reading than me.
It's a chart that's young. It's gonna be too noisy anyway.
I feel like it's worth like looking though to make sure you're not buying into an asset that just went up like 8,000% in the last 24 hours. Because
that's true. Yeah, that's true. I don't want to buy into something that just like went to Mars.
Yeah, okay. I guess I said it's 6, so it's been around for like 3 weeks.
Here we go. So I clicked down here, now it says transaction submitted, view on Explorer. Every bridge is slightly different, and the first time using a new bridge, I'm always a little like, okay, how is this gonna, like, how long is this gonna take? It says finishing right now. Uh-huh. Okay, well, let's take a look. If I go back, okay,
honestly,
pending
this stuff is pretty damn fast compared to like.
Not terrible, yeah.
I mean, we get spoiled from doing this for so long, and like, or I remember like having to wait like 20 minutes. You'd send Ethereum somewhere and just be like, I hope to fucking God it ends up with whatever I just sent in like my other wallet. Like, I don't know. Shit's gotten way faster. Yeah. Even Ethereum is way faster than it used to be. Like, Ethereum used to be fucking slow and expensive. Yeah. It used to be the worst of both worlds. Now I feel like you can like get shit between 5 blockchains in like 10 minutes less.
Yeah, see, it says complete. So if I go back to here now, whoop. Oh yeah, there's my 2 BERA, 1450 or 1480, 1480-ish, and let's see, I should have, yeah, here 118 USDC. It's worth noting that it took the fees. The 2 BERA I had to pay in ETH for those. It did not take that from my $118 bridge, since you can see I still got that. Interesting. Okay, and then the other one I wanted to do was bridge from Arbitrum. So let's try that as well. Arbitrum. There it is. 500 and something here. If I do add, this time I don't need extra gas anymore. And we'll bridge this one too. And I'll tell you how much it costs to do this. 0.18 cents. So again, less than 2 cents. Or I'm sorry, less than 0.2 cents. So not terrible. I'll do that. Although that's just the permission transaction. The actual transaction is going to be 1 cent. All right, so I'm at 66 cents now.
1 cent? That's like half a wax.
To move from wax over to this BERA chain has taken me like a little less than $1, like 70 cents ish. And now you can see there's gonna be 4 minutes here. And I guess the last thing I want to do is, this is the first time I'm on this exchange, but we kind of already know how this nonsense goes, as far as like we're gonna need to split our liquidity, add to the pool, and stake the pool to the rewards vault. So I know, we need to do at least that. Let's give it a couple minutes here to finish. Last time it said 4 minutes, but it finished in like a minute and a half. So I'm curious to see how quickly this one finishes as well. Clearly, like, these layer 2 ecosystems are pretty easy to move into and out of. Security Circle and Pi. Pi is like a phone app that people were just like clicking mine on for like ever, and if you had done that for years, you maybe had made a couple grand.
I mean, that paid off.
Yeah.
I think Quadrell's doing pretty good.
There it goes. See, completed. So now if we go back here, yeah, there it is, 277. So this is about my 10,000 wax-ish. And so I want to do half of this into honey and the other half into wrapped BERA. So let's do that. I want to go to this vault. I wonder if there's a zap in option. I don't think there is. If I go here, stake, no, it seems I need this. It doesn't like give me a clear place of where to add this liquidity, so we'll just do it the way we already know how to do it. So again, we want 50% of our USDC, which we have 277.50, so that's half of that is 100. Actually, let me do some math here so I can actually get it right. It is 138. 38. And now let's see how much does it cost to do transactions on this blockchain. To approve spending USDC is going to cost me very little, 0.0001. So this is 1/100th of a penny. Damn. Let's see how quickly these things confirm. I just sent it. You can see down here it says pending. Okay, very quickly too. Let's do a swap. The swap is also 1/100th of a penny. Done. Let's see. Also, like 5 seconds or so to get that confirmed. I'm going to do WBERA as my second token because that's going to be my wrapped partner here. I'm going to wait till it updates. Looks like it's updated now. I can buy 18.8. Let's preview that and swap it. And this one also less than 100th of a penny. So this blockchain is definitely crazy cheap. I don't think you need to do anything near to BERA to have enough to cover your gas fees. So now we've split both of those liquidities into here. Now I want to go to the pool. I know these are the ones that I want to join. So not BioUSD Honey. I want to go into, it is BERA Honey. Here it is. And this should be the one with the, yeah. So this is the one with 110% APR on the BGT. So I'm going to click on this. And then go up here, deposit, it looks like is the place. Yep. I'm going to give it 100% of my... Oh, and it doesn't keep amounts proportional. There it goes. Okay, so there it is. We'll do that as a preview. Approve the token to be spent. Again, gas fees are so cheap here. I wouldn't ever, but just reiterating here, don't give your wallet approval for unlimited spend. Always just approve the amount that you're spending in the moment. Like it even has an option, approve infinite, and that's not a good idea. Basically, it saves you time on taking the step of approving each time, but it keeps your approvals potentially like vulnerable to smart contract exploit. Whereas even if a smart contract becomes malicious, if you don't have permission for your wallet to transact with it, then it won't be an issue. So, don't penny pinch here on 1/100th of a penny just to save yourself a couple seconds each time for signing, especially because these transactions seem to be signing pretty quickly. There you go, has been successfully deposited. And then look, it looks like it brings up a tab that gives me the ability to stake it right away. So I'll say stake it. And stake all of it. And again, approve. These liquidity pool tokens, I generally don't mind giving unlimited approvals to, because you're giving unlimited approvals to the DEX for a token that the DEX itself issues. But even then, it's best practice to just stay consistent and don't just hand out approvals everywhere. There we go. So I've given that permission,
Tito
and
came
now
to
I
say
can
hi.
stake.
Hello, Tito. Are you a BERA
And
cat?
this should be the last. This should be the last step. So that will have been the live version of moving from wax into this BERA position, and now I should be starting to earn some of these like governance tokens, right? So we can check next week and see how that kind of looks. There it goes. My stake is right here, and then the rewards. I guess let's see if I go to vaults, or it'd be nice if there's like a what's that called? A dashboard. But whatever. We'll go to vaults, and I should see Wrap BERA and Honey. This will be the one I'm in. And look at this. I'm already earning a little bit of this BGT. So we'll let that cook for a minute and see how this goes, right? I mean, we started with, let's see if we go to pools. My pools, will it have anything here? No, it won't. It doesn't know because I've staked them. So vols, my reward vaults. I guess it also doesn't find those. At least not yet. Well, we'll come check. This seems to be like early days for this stuff anyway. But yeah, let's see. So maybe next time I'm on here, I'm going to see about claiming some of the reward tokens, and then we can take a look at what goes into like delegating and how this all plays out. But that is an interesting thing. It's nice to like see, like you said, innovative kind of stuff being made, and I think, you know, especially like the sentiment that Burst was saying, it like pull to see like actual like development in like crypto stuff pulled him out of like, you know, the cesspool, as he put it, that had devolved over here on Wax. So it's nice to see like familiar faces messing around with some other cool crypto shit. So
also, I mean, we've seen a lot of shit in crypto to see something that's like new and exciting for us is,
yeah, that's true.
Say like 90 out of 100 new projects that people send me, I'm just like, red flags all over the place. Like, what is the point of it? Like, just a bunch of buzzwords and like shit that doesn't make sense to me. This actually kind of makes sense to me. Like, it's still a little above my head, like exactly how this all like. I feel like participating is the easiest way to actually see how it works. And then also like, just because it's cool doesn't mean it'll work long term, I guess is the other thing that like I've never seen anybody do this before. So it's like, I don't know, maybe having users dictate governance over blockchain producers is a horrible idea, and we'll see that it doesn't work in 6 months, but like you don't really know until you try. But it could also be like, maybe this will be like moving forward, other chains try to like change to be more like this because they realize that like having users have more control actually helps the ecosystem more than it hurts it, but we'll see.
Yeah.
We have another giveaway up, ! Neon, if you want to join. Also, hello, Piga. Isn't he one of the ones that... You're not the Rook guy, are you? I feel like he's... Or is he Pixel Journey? I always get you guys mixed up, to be honest. I feel like you definitely run a project on Wax, though. I will be right back. Wash my hands after sneezing. Pixel Journey. Okay. I got there. I'll be right back.
Pixel Journey. That's
Pixel Journey has been doing DeFi stuff on Wax. It's like one of the few projects still trucking.
Nice. Yeah. DeFi in general has been getting slammed this week for sure. But it's also part of what I like about you know, the market at the moment. It makes it really attractive to be in these stablecoin positions. And that's where I'm at. Also, I'm not sure if many people have been messing with like Uniswap's cross trade, cross like blockchain trading, but holy crap, that's fucking incredibly like, it works so well, it's so cheap. Like you can swap from you know, like base chain USDC over to like USDC on Arbitrum, and it's basically 1-to-1, and it's pretty much instant, just like a swap would be, rather than it's, you know, waiting like we waited on the bridge here for a minute. Which still, whatever. It's not that bad waiting a minute. either way, I'm kind of excited to see how this plays out. Feels like definitely like an interesting new kind of development here. I added, let's see, Honey and BERA, but I'm thinking I could do like Bitcoin and BERA or ETH and BERA or BERA. But either way, I could do one of those other ones just to be more exposed to the upside of crypto. If crypto isn't gonna, tank into zero, then it should bounce back.
I'm on my
in
screen
the
right
next
now,
few
by
days.
the way, if you're trying to show stuff off.
I was just talking about the thing we had just done.
I'm gonna run this giveaway. Maybe we'll do one more and call it. We're going for almost 3 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, my head's starting to feel my headphones.
Pika says we also do NFTs and blends and staking, marketing, educational stuff. Now with the new PAI Pixel with AI in there. Guide AI on our Discord, community building, early mini DAO things, endless things good. All the buzzwords in this.
Hell yeah. It is fun too. I think I really like that about Wax is like how accessible it is to do all that stuff. Like some of the more tricky things on other chains are pretty straightforward on Wax. Although it's hard to get excited when the liquidity is just everywhere else.
Yeah.
Like we looked at that BERA chain. I hadn't even heard of that before we looked at it today.
It really launched like 3 weeks ago. It's already like
yeah, it's like $500 million.
Much larger than Wax. I think has ever really. Wax probably got close during the Farmers World period, but like
yeah,
briefly is worth a lot, and then for most of its existence has been pretty nothing DeFi wise. Cone Dog. But I don't know. I appreciate anybody still building.
Same.
Wax is a great, like, it has so many tools for developers and like people that aren't necessarily like coders and stuff. Like it's, in theory, a great ecosystem. In practice, there's just, we need bigger developers developing shit that brings people in outside of Wax, and that's what we don't have, which makes it harder for the smaller creators that are developing on Wax because there's not an influx of new users to support your project.
Yeah. It's there needs to be like a big shift up to have Wax kind of like rebound a bit at this point.
All right, one last giveaway, and then we'll call it.
Oh baby!
Almost double the size of our X this year too. Just around the followers night.
Hell yeah! That's dope. Congrats. Also, PXJ has been like one of the staple coins on Wax for a long time at this point. Like I wouldn't be surprised. It's like a top 5 token most of the time. Right, and that includes like stable coins and shit, I feel like, on Wax at least. Let me see what the top 5 tokens are on Wax. Looks like top tokens. TLM and Wombat got you beat still.
I haven't checked on Wombat since they had their token split. Like, that happened. I don't even know what the new token. It's like, wasn't it like play token? It was like, no, maybe that was the other one. They like combined multiple tokens into a new token.
Spiel or something like that. Yeah.
Ever since they shut down the Atomic Hub server, I've been having a hard time like they have too much shit in their like their Steelwork server because there's like all the Wombat dungeon shit and then other games and then it's like
right. Oh wow, I didn't realize Buzz was fucking flying off the handle like that. That's cool. Buzz is cooking too. It's like a top 10 token now too.
Bzz, bzz.
But yeah, it's definitely top 20 easily.
They have Wombat and Waster. Waster? Oh, they're planning on merging it to play token. Maybe that hasn't happened yet. I don't know.
Oh, okay. into play. Okay. I'm excited to see how that plays out, but yeah, I'm not.
I tried to click on the Wombat server. There's 200 announcements. Like, I don't even know where to start looking. I'm looking for.
That's a little much.
I also haven't been in the server for long. Yeah, I was excited about the Wombat ecosystem, but I don't know. I feel like it didn't really amount to what I was hoping it would.
Yeah. I definitely liked Wombat too. I still played for a while, and I think I still have my stake on the app somewhere. I haven't fucked with it.
You have your own token called Qcoin, not related to Q. Your coin now sit in your wallet until it's taken structure. I do think, I mean, that is the cool part about Wax, is it's so easy to like. I'm assuming you're doing on Wax, like to roll out something like that, and then like being able to stake it. Like anybody can just do stuff on Alcor. Like I don't know, the tools on Wax are pretty incredible for creating stuff. Like as like a small creator, like especially if you have your own. Like I feel like if you're trying to find people to buy your shit, Wax is not the place to advertise. But if you already have people that are interested in your stuff, like Wax is easy enough to use. That it's like pretty easy to onboard people, but the problem is we just don't have any large creators making stuff and onboarding new users.
Right. Be fun to see like a Funko coin or something. Funko meme nonsense. I say I already do coins for each of their collections. They're just NFTs. FU coin, yeah. You could pair it with Q coin.
All right. Last call, exclamation point. Neon, if you want to join this, we're going to give away some love.
Yeah. Let's see if you convince them, because if they do come, then most people just FUD them. Yeah, that's true. There's a lot of bitter people on Wax too. Although I feel like that bitterness dries up pretty quickly when like the prices kick into like overdrive. But we'll see. When the prices come back though, so do all the shitters. You know, we saw that happen a little bit too. I feel like if Wax rallies back to like 25 cents, I would be not surprised to find like bonds and fucking like what's the guy from Uplift? You know the guy. Corey, that's it. Quadrilla knows. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to find them like back with some new thing and some like new win-win-win. And I feel like at that point it'll be everyone who's still like around today's job to like FUD and be like, no, don't let new people fall for this shit. They already eradicated our chain. But I don't know. At the end of the day, it's everyone's like own prerogative to make their decision on what they want to participate in. So right after he buys billions.
Yeah, I left all Corey related discords and projects in. My life's better because of it.
Yeah.
All he did was stress me out, making me remember how much I lost believing in him multiple times in a row. So, he'll fool me once, fool me twice situation where it's like, yeah, like he doesn't have any. He has no slack to be cut. He's lost. Anybody who's been crazy thing is people keep buying it. Like there's people that have been around like the whole time that are like Stockholm syndrome, where they're like, I'll follow you onto this next thing. Where like I don't know if they're in on it, where they're like, I'm just trying to dump on whoever like this guy hypes into it, or if they actually still believe in him. But like hard time believing anybody that bought into Uplift believes this guy can accomplish anything that he said he could accomplish, because like clearly can't.
Yeah.
All right, we're getting into Salt Lick territory.
Yeah, it's getting too salty.
Launch this.
I was about to look up Keck too. I was like, nah, let's not.
Yeah, I'd rather focus on shit that's cool than rehash stuff that clearly didn't work. And pisses me off. Pisses me off. So hot in here too, which is not helping my irritability. 86 degrees in my bedroom right now.
Let's see, the only reason why wax ramped up nicely in 2021 was because people, or some blue whiz, like whales at least. Oh, yeah. Massively went in investing all around the ecosystem a lot. Yeah. I feel like it doesn't really take that much money also to like pump the wax ecosystem at this point.
Blue Wizard was rumored to have pumped money in from stolen Bitcoin from like a fucking in-person investment scam in Las Vegas. So the whole thing was sketchy. I think it wasn't just a couple whales though. Like I think Farmers World and Alien World did attract legitimate many users with lots of money.
Grammy scam.
They all just rotated it out of wax. Because I think there are a lot of real users. Like, I mean, I had friends in real life that are not on wax anymore. Like, I don't know, like Mark isn't really on wax anymore. Bob's not on wax anymore. My buddy Brandon, Ari was into our plant. Like, there were a bunch of real people who knew into this shit. A lot of people. And then after they all got fucked, they all left. So like, I don't know. I don't think that like it was all just a couple of whales. Like, I think their wax was legitimately exciting, and also to people that weren't even like Brandon and Ari weren't really into crypto. Bob, I think, still hardly like people like saw baseball cards and like some of the game stuff, and they're like, oh, like I understand this and this makes sense to me. It's just poor management of the project leads, and every project failing is like, yeah, if you put a bunch of money, you spread your money around the ecosystem, then the entire ecosystem fails. Like you're gonna go elsewhere, or in the case of all the people I just listed, pretty much, they're not really doing crypto stuff anymore. Like they kind of just like got soured from the entire thing.
Yeah, a lot of people are like, all of crypto is a scam because the thing I did in 2021 was a scam, which I totally understand, and is probably the best move for a lot of people to not get burned.
Honestly, buying and selling Bitcoin is probably like the best move for anybody.
Yeah.
Unless even if you really know what you're doing, like so much stuff beyond your control can go wrong with like exploits, and like it's just dangerous to be involved in anything that's not like holding Bitcoin on Coinbase. Like even holding it in your own wallet, if you know what you're doing, is like more dangerous.
Yeah, it's not for everyone, and I think it takes me a second to, because like I love it so much, and I'm like, oh, anyone can do it, but it's like, but that doesn't mean they should. Because I feel like, like when my dad asks me what he should do, it's like, stay on Coinbase. Like, what coins should I buy? The stuff that's on Coinbase. Like, you know, I mean, even then, it's like you'll still get burned by dumb shit like Trump coin or Melania coin or whatever. But at least you're not gonna get like rug pulled and your whole like wallet compromised because you don't know what you're doing and you think you do. Shit, yo. Rough goings out there, man. That sucks. Got fucking scammed right before the markets collapsed, huh? Oh yeah, AI games made in a day. That'll be great. That's the next phase, is going to be like the next big thing is this game. The crazy part of that is that like those AI games are going to probably put out more gaming content than a lot of like game projects that like sold hype and never delivered anything ever put out.
I mean, it'll be trash probably.
Yeah, for sure.
Let me make sure I sent a quadri.
Got scammed out of all of the 21 bull cycle. Fuck, that sucks. I'm running pretty out of a decent amount of my bull money, but I also spent it on just living life. I traveled a bunch. Paul and I traveled like multiple times the last couple of years. No regrets, baby. You can't scam me out of those memories. Good food, good company. That shit'll never get old. Also, I mean, I made big money in Bitcoin back in like 2015, 16 for the first time. Like, cause I had bought it in like 2014 and they didn't really touch it until it like actually did make like decent amounts of profits. And I spent a lot of that too. Like, and back then the whole like justification for me was just like, I'm young and I have all this money. This isn't going to happen again. Like, what am I saving it for? And again, I don't regret doing that either. I might have a lot more money today if I had just been like prudently investing it forever. But the whole point of having money is to like enjoy your life. And the whole point of enjoying your life is to do it while you still have your youth and your health. So just scraping by and saving up big stacks of cash isn't really living or fun. And so while investing is definitely a function of like profits and losses and stuff, you can't really quantify the loss of, you know, sanity or youth or, you know, health the same way you can quantify the loss of like money. And so I feel like in the same way, like the upside, like the profits of like experience and you know, whatever else isn't the same or isn't quantifiable. Basically, the short version of this is I'm never going to regret spending money on eating out. Like, at least that's how I feel.
All right. I'm going to raid into someone. We should be streaming again tomorrow for Off the Rails. I might have to look up some videos tonight. But if not, we'll figure out something else to do. Been on a tier list in a long time.
Yeah, my Switch knows what's up. Time with family friends isn't quantifiable. That's like priceless stuff, and I got a lot of it. And I was like, Paul and I were able to travel, visit his family in Mexico and all that stuff. Like, go and only do things that we wanted to do with our time. And even if it means like, oh shit, I have to go get a shitty job again, like in a couple years or whatever, I run out of money because the Bitcoin market dumped and like left me behind. Whatever. I had like a 12-year run at this point, and like 5 of those years I haven't had to work. You can't take that from me, even if I get scammed for everything tomorrow. Although, let's hope that doesn't happen. I'll knock on wood over here.
All right, I'm raiding into Las Vegas. See you all tomorrow. Have a
Later.
superb Wednesday evening or whatever time is in your time zone. Maybe it's almost Thursday, but have a good whatever time. See you all.
And let us know how to get Q coins at some point
tomorrow.
Later. That's too funny.